they ain't got what's necessary, the necessary ingredients, but we do. Check it.
We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want,
now
you can have it.
Orientation in this place we call Earth. Love from conception, from your mom, your birth. Pops planted the seed in the turf. From there, you must find out what life is worth. Grew up learning your do's and don'ts before working on your motor skills, working on your coordination, right? And orientation to what you like. The brand new thing, so gentle the soul we're capturing. In this distance, the alphabets the kids sing. They celebrate when it's time to go outside. As you get older, you learn to let all the troubles in your life just glide away. Stay focused, keep it smooth, keep you cool. Things in life can make it get rude. If you let it, don't let it. 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 If you let it, let it, let it, what? If you let it, don't let it, let it. If you let it, what? Don't let it. If you let it, don't let it, let it. Don't let it.
We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We embark on this journey through your soul. We wanna have a good time. We embark on this journey through your soul. We wanna have a good time. We do something that you know you can't deny. We're just slipping in and out on a journey, you and I, on a mission to salvation. Our spirit be our transportation. We think you'll do a little love and that is true. For real, we bring something that you know you can't deny. We're just slipping in and out on a journey, you and I. Bring it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. From our harshest past and better than our society's identity.
But then again, can you tell me that's free?
They explain to you what your mind should perceive.
Suggest things they want you to believe, like your skin color dictates your race. They calling you an idiot to your face.
Life is much more simple than that.
We all slaves and the cards is stacked. While we fight over problems we can fix, industrialists turn our kids to addicts.
The television does a job, introduce you.
The radio's right there to seduce you.
Keep you locked on the wrong damn track.
Cigarettes is just legalized crack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. Stop believing in the flag, it's a trap. Cause men rule this world, that's a fact. And unfortunately, the Epstein class rules the world right now. I mean, well, not the world, but the United States. The United States, at least. I mean, you know, sometimes you have to scale down scale down, the treason. It's not the whole world, although they would want it. Don't ever forget, that's part of the plan. The Epstein class wants to rule the whole world, but they'll settle for the United States of America. Let's say they got 25% accomplished, right? Which is controlling the U.S. Yeah, Epstein class, got it. Israeli, Russian psyops working together, sharing information, They got their hooks in men with dicks. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. I mean, look, that's ironic, right? Talk about, I mean, people like to talk about trans people all the time. What about men with dicks? Okay, look at the trouble they cause. Fucking men. They talking about trans people in the toilet. Motherfucker, men with dicks are just selling your country out because they like little girls, minors, and little boys. I mean, don't you have a problem with men with dicks? God damn, I mean, for a change. I mean, I'm just saying, it's the truth. It's irony. It is irony and shit. Men with dicks create a problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious. Don't ever forget what is happening to you. Isn't that crazy? All the attention with, on everything else, trans people, but it's the men with dicks that's going after little kids. It's the men with dicks that'll sell out their country. It's the men with dicks that's going after little boys, right? Yeah. That's what's going on. Yeah. It is what it is. Although, I'm going to tell you, I speak some truths, some profound truths on this channel. So if you don't want to hear it, it's probably not for you. You might want to still be inside of the Matrix eating your steak and shit, your steak dinner. But it is facts. While you're worried about the trans community, men with dicks have sold your country out because they like to be on, chasing little kids around and getting videos made of them and, pictures taken of them with minors. So you tell me, where was the trans person on motherfucking Epstein Island? Where is that person at? Nowhere to be found. But Trump was there, presuming he has a dick. We don't know. Never seen it. I'm just saying. He says he's got For all I know, he could be trans too. What the fuck? Trump could have a vagina. Who knows, man? Maybe it's Trump that actually gave birth to his kids and shit. Carried the baby 9 months. How the fuck do I know? Who knows? Nobody knows. But, oh, yes. Thank you for that comment. You like the music? Yeah, I try to make music. I appreciate that, Rafiga. I try to make music that lasts. You know what I'm saying? That lasts. That has good that has purpose and meaning to it, and universal meaning, not just a narrow purpose with a narrow meaning. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that about the music. Yeah, that song They Don't Know. I love that song because it has some profound truths in it. But listen, back to Trump. And, this psyops, this, espionage, this blackmail, this honeypot operation on the United States soil has got a lot of men with dicks and they got their hooks in there and they have sold out the whole country. And you're dealing with that right now. Presuming these men have dicks. We don't know, but just presuming Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Clarence Thomas, who else? A whole long list of people that they're hiding, that they don't want anyone to fucking know about, right? They're scared. And unfortunately, like I said before, American people can't have it both ways. You can't have freedom and have the Epstein files covered up. You can't have both. You have to choose one or the other. It's just like in the Matrix. You got to choose the red pill or you got to choose the blue pill. You must choose one, though. If you don't choose one, then you're just as good as choosing the delusion. Also, you're going to live in the delusion. You will never know what the truth is if you don't have the Epstein files released. And that's where it's at with the United States right now. The United States is not free. People don't have the right to know what's in the Epstein files. You don't have the right to know who committed treason in your government. And you don't have the right to know if it's 50, if it's 100. You don't have the right to know about any of those people. And you could be paying those people with your tax dollars. And you are paying some of them, which are definitely 100%. You are definitely paying some of them that have done things with little kids, little boys and little girls that are on tape. Some of them are in the government right now that get paid off of your tax dollars. And you're never really going to know 100% how many it is until they release the files. And you've seen that you are not getting the files. The Justice Department says no, you won't be getting all these files right now. The Justice Department says, hey, if you think a law means we have to follow the law, you're wrong. We don't. Justice Department doesn't have to follow the law. Law is for slaves, right? It's not for kings and queens and people inside of, that work for them directly. They're sycophants. It's not for the elite to follow law. The Epstein class, whoever works with Epstein to hide the Epstein files, doesn't have any rules. They have the right to threaten your life. They have the right to rob you. They have the right to use the government as an instrument to attack everyday people. And it just is what it is. It's sad, but it is what it is. So, yeah, let's get on with this. Let me see. Somebody said you played less. Oh, you like that? All we need is one love. Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah, all we need is one. It's true. It's true. It's true, man. Damn. Everyday people songs. Everyday people songs. That's what I call it. That's what I try to make with my music. Everyday people songs. Songs that everybody can understand. Yeah, exactly. Because I want them to be timeless, and I want them to have meaning, and I want them to help people. I want it to help people. I want my music to help heal people. So that's what I do. And, I don't waste my time with a lot of the other stuff. Luckily, I took my time learning, putting together music and things like that. And then I got to the point where I realized that, wow, I can just go in the studio and write right then in the studio and write something that's on my mind that has meaning, and I can live with it. So, but, I'm looking at the chat. All right, now let me see. I didn't know the young boy Clarence Thomas didn't speak for 7 years because he was scared to speak around Geechee. I learned that. Oh, he spoke Geechee. I'm not surprised. There's a lot of people, African Americans, that come from the Geechee area of South Carolina, right? Is it the Carolinas, you could say, right? Yeah, the Carolinas. And it's just part of our culture. You know what I mean? Geechee is also African-American culture. Black. Yeah, I say African-American culture. I don't know what's up with these people that try to evade saying the word African. I think it's just petty. It's just petty and stupid. You know what I mean? Just like, come on, man. Everyone already knows what African-American means. So what's the point in making a new name? When they say African-American, they talking about jazz. When they say African-American, they're talking about civil rights movement. When they say African-American, they're talking about slavery. When they say African-American, they're talking about Jim Crow. When they say African-American, they're talking about the Geechee Islands. When they say African-American, they're talking about all that. Malcolm X. They're talking about, come on. When they say African-American, they're talking about all of that. Huey P. Newton. Come on, sometimes these FBAs, anyway, listen, they've been manipulated by Trump. They don't, listen, these FBA sycophants, the leaders, I'm telling you, they in cahoots with Trump. They are in cahoots with Trump. That's what they are. And they're happy playing that role. They feel that playing that role of division and then getting your ass kicked after you help divide people, they think that's the way you go about revolution. Luckily, that's only like 20% of African Americans, or less. I mean, because man, they're embarrassing. They're getting their ass kicked more than anybody right now. Like, literally, it's embarrassing. And you just got to learn a better politic, man. Got to learn a better politic. Got to learn to not be used by people so cheaply. You know, they did all the same projection that Trump did. They talked it all about a Democratic plantation, and yet they was on the Trump plantation. You know, even worse, begging Trump, Master Trump, can I get on your plantation, please? What's the difference? If you are one plantation, how is it a step up to just leave and go to a worse one? It's like, what the hell? But they willingly did this. You know what I'm saying? Why not just escape, period? But they didn't notice they left that part off. They never told you escape slavery, these FBAs. They just said get off the Democrat plantation. They never said just escape slavery. They didn't say that because in their mind, they're like, I'll get off the Democratic plantation and hop on the Republican, the Trump plantation. That's what they really meant. Hop on the Trump plantation. They got no other plans. Now they got to accept it. And it's sad. It's sad because they took it too far. Okay. They couldn't be like me. Like, I don't care about the term foundational Black American, unless you try to make it seem like it's different from African American. Unless you try to make it seem like you hate other people. Now you want to scapegoat. You want to lie, saying you want to use foundational Black American to lie about African American history, to just lie about history. Is that what you're going to do now? Come on, man. Come on. You don't know your history. How are you going to diss these people? Denmark Vesey. You see what I mean? Slave revolt, North Carolina, came from the islands. Yeah, he was a bad slave in the islands. 2 times bad. They had to kick his ass out of 2 plantations. And then the master finally was like, the new master was like, man, fuck this dude. I'm bringing his ass to the Carolinas and dumping his ass off for $200. And that's what he did. And Denmark Vesey started with the others, Africans that were there, started a slave revolt. Yeah, exactly. So why are you going to diss those kind of people's contributions? You know what I'm saying? Why are you going to diss Denmark Vesey's contribution? Do you know how many people from the Caribbean, you yourself could have come, your family's descendancy could have come from the Caribbean first. Don't you know Cuba was the hub first? Like, many people first, African Americans first arrived in Cuba and then got their ass sent later, or in some other island and then got their ass sent later to the Americas. People don't know that. So this FBA thing is a complete disgrace, you know, especially if you want to talk about reparations, because you're making enemies out of other people who went through the same goddamn thing as you. What is the point in doing that? Can't you articulate and navigate that better? Right? Why do you have to articulate it and navigate it in such a crude, insulting manner, not only to others, but to yourself? And why do you have to be used as political pawns by Trump to fuck over everybody in your family? Like, come on, man. When is it going to stop? When is it going to fucking stop? You know? Whatever. But I ain't waiting on you motherfuckers. Like... The train got to keep moving. The V Media train has to keep moving. Checka up the road, because I'm not planning on getting stuck with you. Okay, with that dumb shit. That is like, at some point you got to jump ship. Bye. Take a swim. Swim back. Okay. The water's too deep, bro. There's sharks in them waters. Yeah, Trump got their ass anyway. He used them and abused them like a Rick James song. You know what I'm saying? I used them and abused them. Damn, that was some heavy shit. And then Tina Marie gonna come in. FBA, Tina Marie. You know that R&B song? What's that song and shit? I used them and abused them. God damn, Rick James, boy. That's the story of the FBA getting used and abused. Except it's Trump. You wish it was Rick James. At least he had some kind of style. Trump has no fucking style. He'll just beat your ass and shit. Kill you. Rick James would be like, what did the 5 fingers say to the face, and then smack you. Trump would just be like conspiring the whole time. No, send in the Nazis. Make the ovens first. Got to make the ovens first. Got to have an elaborate plan to kill these niggas. That's how Trump will do it. Anyway, let's see here. Well, I can see it's going to be a loosely run show today. But what the hell? I have an hour or two. Yeah, I got an hour or two. Then I'm going to make some breakfast. Let's see here. Got my little coffee happening on the left. Let's go. My latte. Like to sip on it in the morning. Check out the news. Now, as we know, we're going to talk about the guns in a second. Yeah, I want to see if Fries is going to come up and then talk about these guns. Goddamn. Yeah. Cuz listen, y'all. Fuck it. Now there was a lot of people, and even there were like, anti-gun, gun limits. And I understand that. I was one of them. I was like, damn, guns are way too proliferated across the country. That's because guns get in criminals' hands. And the United States has never done anything about that. The United States has never done anything about mass shootings. They just don't care. Innocent people have been killed by guns just like at an alarming rate in the U.S. But because Americans are okay with it, people like Charlie Kirk was like, okay, just the price you pay for guns. And then he got shot. It's like, God damn. And then they try to blame a liberal for that one, huh? Yeah. Well, with the advent of Trump, I say, fuck it. Everybody gun up, go get your guns because, and when after 9/11, I say, go get your guns. That's how I changed. I was like, fuck this, because what I saw not 9/11, January 6th, I'm sorry. Because what I saw after January 6th was that DC police, FBI, CIA, ATF, all failed to protect the people of Washington, D.C. They have no plan to protect the people of Washington, D.C. from a violent mob marching through that city. They have no plan. And invading the Capitol showed you that. All it takes is one person in the chain, like the president, to say, nah, fuck them all. Fuck them all. And give out the order to do nothing. The do nothing order. And that will run all over D.C. The do nothing order, or the do something order, which he's doing right now, which is just harassing the local citizens right now. Still in D.C., harassing them. Now, still in D.C., National Guard giving out police tickets and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just, it's like, see, it never ended. Trump said he was sending them in. It never ended. It never ended. And, so now guess what he's doing? All the black people in D.C. going to be paying loads of tickets. You got loads of tickets. No place to park your car. Nobody giving a fuck about how you're going to get through this little situation with Trump. I mean, and it's not just black people, but let me tell you, Washingtonians ain't rich. The ones born there, several generations, they not rich. They've been getting pushed out slowly out of the city towards the east for a long time now. And this thing is just, if it wasn't bad enough when Bowser came in, or just before, with selling out to these billionaire real estate companies, if that wasn't bad enough, Trump just stepped on them even more. So congratulations to the people that supported Trump, because all you did was, that were black, because all you did was hurt black people, man. Like, really, that's who you hurt with that shit. Your politics hurt black Americans. Like, straight up. And I know a lot of you are out there talking about, well, we always been hurting. Okay. Yeah, you've been hurting like this? Okay. All right. I didn't know that. Maybe you've been hurting like this the whole time. I didn't know. I'm talking about the whole time. You was hurting like this with Biden, huh? You was hurting like this with Biden in D.C.? Interesting. You was hurting like this with Clinton in D.C.? You was hurting like this with Clinton in D.C.? I didn't know. I mean, you wasn't even hurting like this with Reagan in D.C. I mean, it is bad, and that was fucked up. But now it's like the total class thing is totally on in D.C. So, and that hurts black people even more, because black people are at the bottom of the class system in the United States. So be concerned about classism, not only racism, because you're going to be at the bottom. You see what I mean? So be concerned about those conversations about class war. And others need to, take notes from African Americans. What has happened to them can happen to you too, and will happen to you if you go along with these kind of laws. It will happen. See, because it's going to happen to everyone that's adjacent to African Americans too. So if you're in that same class bracket, it's going to happen to you too. So that's how they finagle in the law. You know, it's not like they go out there and they write a law that says black, only the blacks. No, that's not how they do it. You see what I mean? They just figure out what demographic the blacks fit in, and then they just make that apply to everybody. You see what I'm saying? In that class bracket. So a lot of people are going to be hurt, man. It's sad, including gang violence is there. Like, it's just the Reagan era just propped up gang violence. It just propped up gang violence and Bush and shit, you know, man. But look, if you don't see that Trump is even worse than all of them, if you don't see that, I don't understand it. I don't understand you. I really don't understand you. That's the issue right there, you know. And the whole goal is to move up, not down, to move forward, not backwards. And if you can't admit that the United States has moved backwards under Trump, including you, I don't understand what data you're looking at. I would like you to hop up today and tell me about yourself. Let me know why you're special and why you're different and why Trump is good for you. And then I want you to go to some links and show me how you living. I would really like to see that, you know, no problem at all. Just maybe you are living great under Trump, but show me, prove it. Let's have a conversation about that. If you living great under Trump, show me what you got, you know, because I don't believe you right now because the data says you shouldn't be believed. OK, so you're going to have to qualify it, at least show some pictures of your home, you know, and with a timestamp that says yesterday. I don't want no old ass pictures of the good old days. I don't want no old ass pictures of the good old days and shit where you fronting like everything's okay and shit. You know what I'm saying? I want today. I want today and a timestamp on that shit. You know what I'm saying? And even if you got, and I want to see your car note. Do you own it? Is it leased? What the fuck? Give me your house. Don't just take a picture of your house. Let me see the lease. Let me see the bank statement, the loan. How much are you defaulting on this loan? Yeah, it's yours. But what about the loan? Oh my God. But in any case, yeah, let's get on with this garbage here with Trump. Let's see how Mr. Trump, while I wait for Fries to get up. Mr. Trump, where art thou, Mr. Trump? We're going to start off with Jack.
Donald Trump is deeply ill, and that is not just me watching him.
Is it a little loud? Maybe it's mine that's a little low. All right, let me turn this down. Here we go.
Slur his words, walk around with cankles, or hide the bruises on his hands. No, we can all see it, yes, but a doctor is diagnosing Donald Trump with a severe illness as he travels to Walter Reed for the third time for testing that we don't even really know about. And the White House is doing everything it can to hide Donald Trump's medical condition, which is why it is so important that a former White House doctor, Dr. Reiner, whose medical analysis we cite all the time on this show, is coming out and saying it. We are going to get into the diagnosis he gave of Trump, but I think what might have been just as important is how he described Trump's visits to Walter Reed in this clip right here, in which he talked about how weird it is that he's done certain testing. I think this is the place we need to start before we get to the breaking diagnosis.
We have also, Trump back in January, I was looking back, he had told the Wall Street Journal in an interview, Dr. Reiner, that he actually regretted getting the cardiovascular and abdominal CT scan that he did back in October because of speculation that it sparked. And at the time he told the Wall Street Journal in an interview, in retrospect, it's too bad I took it because it gave them a little ammunition. I would have been a lot better off if they didn't, because the fact that I took it and said, said, oh, gee, is something wrong? Well, nothing is wrong. And he seemed to be presenting something of a catch-22 of you want the president to be getting frequent checkups, especially when the fact of the matter is, as you get older, you do face medical issues. People in their late 70s and 80s, they will have medical issues. There is no escaping that. But then saying that every time he does, it sparks some wild speculation. What do you make of it?
Well, first of all, we've never had an adequate explanation of why the president went to Walter Reed in October for off-cycle testing. The president's team hates taking the president to Walter Reed, and they only take the president there when there is testing that they need to do that cannot be accomplished at the White House. The White House has a prodigious capacity to test and treat the president and his team. So you only go to Walter Reed when you need something like a CAT scan or an MRI scan or some other invasive modality. And it's never been adequately explained why they took the president there. His physician later said that he went there for preventative testing, which really makes no sense, because it creates the kind of concern and speculation that occurs when the president, in a almost unannounced way, goes to Walter Reed for unusual testing. So I'd like to hear much more of a fulsome explanation from Dr. Barbabella about what that testing showed. One other thing, I'll be very interested to see what testing they do today, because if they repeat some of the scans that have been done in the last year or so, then that tells us that they are surveilling something, and that's never been disclosed to us.
Now, Dr. Reiner talking about the fact that the White House has more than enough medical equipment and the ability to carry out extensive tests on Donald Trump obviously shows that when he travels to Walter Reed unexpectedly, or when he goes on one of his dentist visits in South Florida, it is something else. It is something deeper. It is something that they are hiding. And this is especially important to me when it relates to cognitive exams, because Donald Trump always brings up his cognitive test as if they're something he wanted to take. But he's already stated there that he doesn't like taking tests because then it raises questions. So obviously they're being administered to him. And when Donald Trump provides anecdotes like this, which are just batshit crazy, he's lying.
So the New York Times does a story to show the test that I just aced, and they only used the first question. They didn't go into the other questions. They didn't go in. But toward the end, like they had a question like, pick a number, sir, any number. Okay, 203. Multiply times 9. Divide by 2. Add on 1,324. Subtract 1,292. Sir, multiply it out one more time by 19. What is the answer, sir? And I got it right.
Donald Trump is not asking to take cognitive tests. Donald Trump is having cognitive tests forced upon him. Donald Trump is having heart scans and brain scans and all the other scans and all the other blood work forced upon him because he's a deeply ill old man. And he doesn't want to talk about that. But we are going to on this show, and I'm so glad Dr. Reiner did. And I'm very worried about the diagnosis that he called severe that Donald Trump shared. I want to read an article about it and watch the clip of his breakdown, so stick around for all of it. Top doctor and former White House doctor, Dr. Reiner, diagnoses sleepy Trump, 79, with severe illness. A top doctor has sounded the alarm on Donald Trump's habit of falling asleep during meetings, saying it could be a sign of something sinister. Trump, who turns 80 next month, has appeared to nod off during several engagements, most recently at a Memorial Day event at Arlington Cemetery on Monday. Dr. Jonathan Reiner, a professor of medicine and the director of the Cardiac Catheterization Laboratory at the George Washington University Hospital, and also cardiologist to late former Vice President Dick Cheney, has said this could be evidence of a severe illness. Speaking about Trump's long list of issues ahead of his visit to the Walter Reed Medical Center for a checkup on Tuesday, Reiner honed in on Trump's sleeping habits. The president has severe daytime somnolence. He falls asleep very often. He's fallen asleep in the Oval Office on multiple occasions with people talking to him in the cabinet room, and I was concerned yesterday that he might have fallen asleep at Arlington National Cemetery, Reiner said on CNN. He added a warning: chronic insomnia is a severe illness. It can result in an increase in risk of dementia, decrease in cognitive effects in older people. Davis Ingle, the White House spokesman, called Reiner a hack doctor. Of course he did. The White House says that Donald Trump is the sharpest, most accessible, except for the Epstein files, and energetic president in history. That's a bunch of bullshit. But despite the White House's assertion, there have been many, many, many examples of Donald Trump falling asleep, and we have seen them again and again. Last month, Democratic Maryland Congressman Jamie Raskin pressed the White House physician for a full evaluation of Trump's cognitive abilities in a letter to Sean Barbalabella, the Navy captain serving as Donald Trump's official doctor. Raskin argued that Trump's behavior warrants a comprehensive cognitive assessment. Raskin, who demanded the results be shared publicly, echoed the concerns of professionals.
What's up, Lucky
experts have
Kool-Aid?
repeatedly warned that the president has been exhibiting signs consistent with dementia and cognitive decline.
I do want to see this during this examination, a credible explanation for his visible health concerns. His bruising, which initially was described as due to vigorous handshaking, which is not credible. His severe edema in his ankles, which was described as chronic venous insufficiency, when just 3 months before, 1 year ago, his examination disclosed that he had no edema, which would then make it acute venous insufficiency, which is an entirely different thing. And finally, the president has severe.
Yo, look at how goddamn tight his shoes are tied. Like, what the fuck is going on, man? I can't wear that shit. Bro, what's going on with this? He's laced, he's suited and booted. Yo, look at how tight this is. I don't know. Does it just look? There's something about that V. It's crazy, man. Look at it on the bottom near his arch of the arch of his foot where his toes come out, and then look at the ankle. It's like this. It's like my name, yo. It's like you can't even shove his goddamn feet in there. It's like, okay, let's continue, man. It's terrible. Just wear some comfortable shoes, man. Whatever happened to? I mean, is there somewhere in the Constitution that says you must dress uncomfortably? I've never seen that before. Why can't you just wear tennis shoes, man? Nobody's gonna blame you. What the fuck? I mean, I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this highlights a phoniness to American politicians. Straight up, this whole dress up thing. Listen, dressing up doesn't mean you're doing right by your people. It doesn't mean you care about your people. I'm telling you that. Sure, play dress up one day, the day when you get elected. You know what I'm saying? When you got to stand there with your hand up. Play dress up that day. But you don't have to play. Every appearance doesn't fucking have to be like this. I'm sorry. What is it about? But look at Elon Musk. He's the richest man on earth. He doesn't give a fuck about a dress code. Dress code doesn't mean productivity. It doesn't mean it. I mean, I'm just saying it. And I know some people are like, okay, or whatever, but look at this shit. Man, I'm sorry. There's a point where you just can't keep shoving your feet into a shoe like that. I mean, at least for me, I ain't going to do it. I'm just telling you, I'm not doing it for nobody, man. You know, like, forget that, man. Shit. And then what about all the other people that know about being on your feet? You know what I'm saying? You know, could you do this? Is this something you're going to do? How long are you going to last like this? Is this helping your ankles? Is this helping your feet? Do doctors tell you when you're 70? How old is Trump? 78? Do doctors tell you to wear these kind of fucking shoes? Are these going to help your health? Okay, I'm just saying.
Sleep very often. He's fallen asleep in the Oval Office on multiple occasions with people talking to him.
Yeah, that's his secret. He's got a Trump who said Trump has an ankle monitor implant on both his ankles and shit.
Cabinet room, and was concerned yesterday that he might have fallen asleep at Arlington National Cemetery during Memorial Day observances.
Damn, he's 79.
Chronic insomnia is a severe illness. It can result in an increase in the risk of dementia, decrease in cognitive effects in older people. It's equivalent to about increasing your age by about 3.5 years. It increases your cardiac risk of having a heart attack or developing congestive heart failure, and it can produce a decline in your sort of mental functions. Like it could increase depression, anxiety. So it's a real problem, and the president appears to struggle to stay awake during the day. And I'd like to hear what the White House has done to evaluate why the president has this increased daytime somnolence, and what they're doing to improve that.
I know what to do. Just gaslight Americans. That'll work. Just say, what is wrong with you? Who the hell are you to talk about his health? Sleepy Biden. Who the hell are you? This is the strongest, goddamn, most productive president. He never sleeps. He's the one who's he went up to Mars and shit and grabbed the fucking, he grabbed the asteroid and pulled it down and saved Earth, goddamn it. This president is number one. Fat ankles, who you calling fat ankles, goddamn it? He has the thinnest ankles on earth. If you compared it to fucking Big Mama and goddamn Martin Lawrence's movie, he has better ankles than her. It's like, what the fuck? Gout? What the fuck you talking about? Who you calling gout? This president? He's just gonna lie to your face, yo. Nothing's wrong here. Nah, the president's in great health. Just bring his big ass out here, Kenkel's ass and shit. Here I am, ogre ass Trump. He's in the prime of his life, man.
So Dr. Reiner is making clear.
Can he get it up? No, but who gives a fuck? You don't want him reproducing anymore.
That Donald Trump falling asleep isn't just him staying up too late on Truth Social and, having McDonald's belly the next morning. And so he can't really, get good sleep, or he's a little drowsy, or he's a little sluggish. But this is a severe illness that Donald Trump has that is contributing to his almost daily naps at this point. And it's not just that it's making Donald Trump go sleepy night time, but also this is leading Donald Trump to be less aware, to be more...
Yo, dang anonymous, appreciate that. I see you, man.
Panic, to be less cognitively able. And it might be the reason that Donald Trump is consistently flip-flopping back and forth on whether or not he wants to be at war. Maybe something of interest more broadly to the American people.
6 cents. No, Donald Trump, he's in such good health. He wants to solve the climate crisis. Not. We don't, what I'm saying? He's not in that good of a health. He doesn't want to take that one out. Let me see. He's trying to figure out, a cure for cancer. I get it. Donald J. Trump, his brain is 100% effective. He's going to come with it.
And so when we
can he figure out the new worm that's coming to the United States? That would be great. Okay, before it starts eating his old ass too.
For Donald
As a matter of fact, somebody should grab some of those flies and throw it near the White House and just see how well they do. DC is a very humid city. Fuck it, get it over with. Bring the flies to DC, man. Fuck it, But I'm sorry to say this, but it's like something's got to give at some point. And that fly would be a nice addition to everybody's work day. All the National Guard down there, all the ICE and shit in DC, the federal government. Yeah, you want to fuck around? Well, here's some flies for you. Try this new worm. See if you like that. See how that spreads so fast. Oh my God.
Trump's cognitive decline on this show, and anyone who watches consistently, and if you do, I love you, by the way, and I think you know that, but anyone who watches knows that we do not talk about this as, haha, Donald Trump fell asleep, so funny, it's like fucking presidential slapstick comedy. No, my chief concern is that Donald Trump is without inhibitions, that he's gone from low filter to no filter, that he just does whatever he wants in any given moment. Now, he's usually always done that, but it has gotten worse. And that is what we are seeing play out. And it is especially bad with us at war. Now, Donald Trump can give one thing his focus without falling asleep, and that's the ballroom. Maybe it's just because it's his cognitively declining obsession, but it is the one thing that he'll talk about. And it's certainly one.
Yo, big up to Jack Cocchiarelli. Yeah, he's got some dope ass news podcasting going on out of DC. I don't know where he's originally from. Is he originally from DC? I know he's operating out of DC right now. So big up to everybody in DC too, the progressives and the movers and shakers in DC. DC got some real movers and shakers in there. Unfortunately, the law is totally against that. You know what I'm saying? The law is totally against progressives. They tried that in the 60s and 70s. They had a boom. You know what I'm saying? They had a boom like they've never experienced it before. The people in the 60s and 70s, they knew what they had to do, the right thing to do, and they did it in DC. And Now they're trying to roll it all back. They're trying to roll it all back. It's so sad. But go out with a fight and keep your head up. That's what I say. You know what you got to do. One DC also, big up to One DC. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that really counts. The last time I was in DC, also, I saw the effects. Like, I'm going to tell you something. Like, the beautiful thing about hardship is people look out for each other. And when I was in DC last, I'm going to tell you, man, I almost didn't even have to pay any place I went. Like, straight up. Listen, this is how they do it. Well, I shouldn't say everything. Let me just not say everything because, damn, I don't want to fuck it up. But people from DC show a lot of love when they know you are from DC. Like, not that they hating on people, but they are very much aware that they're being pushed out of the city. And so they go, they have a kind of like show ultimate love to somebody that's born and raised there. That's how the DC folk are. And yeah, especially right now. So yeah, so big up to people that know what that's about. And people show me that love. Like, I had like carte blanche when I was in DC. Last time I was in DC, I'm serious. Carte blanche. Wanted to go to the African American Museum with my son, right? Picked up the phone, called a childhood friend that works let me just leave it at that works somewhere where they can make that happen for me, so I wouldn't have to wait in line, didn't even need a ticket. Boom, I could just show up, get right in there with my son. Boom, had that happen. Restaurants, like nothing. Don't worry about it. Like crazy, like seriously, in DC, and also other things, information, stuff that I needed from people. I was conducting a production there when I was there last, so I was interviewing a lot of people too. But I had a lot of love, man. So big up to everybody from DC, man. You all are the greatest. You the greatest. Like, you are the greatest, man. Yeah. But Americans, we need to embody that too. We need to embody that spirit. Progressives need to embody that same spirit right now. Like, progressives need to show love to other progressives. Like, straight up, that is what's going to get everybody through that. Like, know who a progressive is and help, and share, do whatever little carte blanche help you could give them. You know what I'm saying? Like, do that, because that's how these elitists roll too. That's how the elitists roll. You know what I'm saying? So we got to balance it out. But in any case, here's some more bullshit about Trump.
Primetime focus. In this administration, there's one quality that trumps the rest: loyalty. And it's true, President Trump rewards those who show him subservience. But there's something else that he might value even more: ruthlessness. So meet Bill Pulte. In just over a year, he's become one of the most aggressive, combative figures in Donald Trump's orbit. Pulte runs the federal agency that oversees mortgage giants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. If you're paying a mortgage right now, there's about a 70% chance one of them is behind it. And as of this week, the 38-year-old is also set to become the acting director of national intelligence, which means he will be overseeing the country's entire spy network, all 18 agencies, including the CIA and NSA.
Yeah, I just saw that. The Jan 6er got hired. Exactly. He had a stick. He was like, fuck you, police. I'm going to knock you upside the head with a metal pole if you get in my motherfucking way today, Capitol Police. You ain't nothing but some bitches to me. And he's got the job. So remember that, Capitol Police. I'm sure the Capitol Police, they remember that. But sadly enough, there's a lot of police in the United States of America that are okay with this regime, even though this is the regime that don't give a fuck, right, about any American law, nothing. When they don't get their way, they have carte blanche to run amok, kill as many people as they want, beat police, torture police, you know what I'm saying, kill police, you know what I'm saying? Like, they can go after the vice president, they can go after any congressional member, and unfortunately, Congress is okay with that, because if they weren't, they would be impeaching. Unfortunately, the Senate is okay with that, because if they weren't, they would be impeaching. Unfortunately, the American people are okay with that behavior because they elected the motherfucker again. So what that means is that the United States is a violent country. That's what that means. Violence is going to persist inside of the country, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. Unfortunately, that's what Americans are committed to, supporting violence.
So, how did he get here? Well, he has absolutely no background working in intelligence, so it wasn't that. Pulte's grandfather founded a home building empire in 1950, and he grew it into a Fortune 500 company. And in 2016, Bill and his grandfather attempted a boardroom coup that
go get a license to bear your arms, to have a weapon in your home. Don't matter where you are, DC, Maryland, Virginia, East Coast, everywhere in the blue states. Get your weapons license taken care of, and get your guns and your bullets. Like, just go ahead, because it's not going to be peaceful. They're going to be killing people because they have carte blanche to beat you up. The only thing is they just want to pretend like that's not the plan. So they just want to do a little at a time, just a little here, just a little there, just a little there, and have it accumulate that into a mass. They don't want to warn you, so they want to do it as subtle as possible, but it will have the same effect. The subtle shit may even have a worse effect.
forced out its chief executive and won Bill a seat at that table. Then his grandpa died. And a few years later, the story got pretty ugly. Pulte accused his own grandfather's widow of insider trading. According to an investigation by the Associated Press, court records show another relative alleged that Pulte was the driving force behind a website that branded his own aunt a fake Christian. He also called another relative a fat slob, a weirdo, a grifter. Then when he got to the White House, he managed to use his little-known housing agency to scrutinize mortgage records and exclusively, coincidentally, go after several of Trump's enemies.
Big girl.
Lisa Cook and Adam Schiff. Along the way, he also struggled to make friends with some key figures.
Did you actually tell Pulte you were going to punch him in the face?
No, sir. I actually said I was going to kick his ass.
Good. Okay. Good. I share the emotion.
Yep.
No, sir. I actually said I was going to kick his ass.
Violence, violence, violence. So they laugh about violence. This is from the top down. This is from the top down. The toughies, the tough people are in charge. They're tougher than anybody. You can't be tougher than MAGA. You can't be tougher than the Trump office. They can't be stronger. They all Superman and Superwomen. They can do Mission Impossible. Until somebody had enough. We'll see. We'll see.
Good. Okay. Good. I share the emotion.
Personally, I'm waiting to see some examples be made. I'm waiting to see it because I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to do just like they did. Oh, well, if he hadn't been selling this and doing that, then it wouldn't have happened. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Ocean.
The other person Scott Bessent reportedly got into a heated argument with was none other than Elon Musk. So if he's threatening to kick your ass, you may want to do a little bit of soul searching. In this case, Trump doesn't seem to just be rewarding a loyalist. He's elevating a proven weapon. And joining us now is Lydia DePillis, economics reporter for the New York Times, and Nick Ackerman is still here with us. So Lydia.
Yeah, I see you, Nevada. Under pressure. Yeah, Appalachia going to contend. That's what I'm saying. Fries was saying this too. Like a lot of these people, you're not going to change that way by information, intelligence, informing, trying to get them to vote for the issues. A lot of them are just too lost to understand that. What helped, they haven't grown. They haven't changed since the 40s. You know what I'm saying? And there's still this idea that I'd rather be a poor white person in America than to have some nigga be president. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, it's sad. It's pathetic. It's pathetic because they believe in race. They believe in race. They believe they're a different race. 2026. They don't read books. You know what I'm saying? They don't read. They don't take in information. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, they don't. And that is what's going to kick their ass. Unfortunately, you might look in a certain way, but it's just by chance. It's just by luck. It's not because of your hard work or labor. It's just it's just a biological function, man, but it's not it doesn't your color doesn't mean your race. It just doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's crazy, bro. But yeah, people do things. The body does stuff to survive, you know, and the body changes to survive. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and yeah, that's how it works, you know. I don't know how many of you saw. There's some great clips about the doctor. What's his name? The famous physicist. What's the black brother's name with the afro? That's out right now. He has some clips with this other podcaster that was in a little trouble with this woman, you know, sex tape or whatever, blah blah blah. But the guy from the South, right? Yeah, Eric Dyson. He's got some clips with this podcaster. I forget his name. I'm terrible with names. I'm sorry, but he has some clips on social media right now with a podcaster he sat down with, and Neil deGrasse Tyson. Right? Not Dyson, not Eric Dyson. I'm sorry, Neil deGrasse Tyson. And that's right. Thanks for helping me out, Friars. And he explains why people look different, but that doesn't mean your race is different. It's because your body changes, you know, depending on climate and other things, food sources, stuff like this. That's what changes your body. So it could turn out to be a lot of different ways, and people change. Look, when people have dark complexion come to this part of the world or the northern areas of the world, because of the angle of the sun, right? It doesn't have the same type of light in it. The same type of nutrients are not in it. The sun, not the same way as it is when you're on the equator. It might look bright, but it doesn't have the same things in it. And what happens to your body is that the darker you are, the darker melatonin in your skin is at a disadvantage because it's blocking too much of the rays that you need inside your body. So that's why they tell everybody here you got to watch your vitamin D. If you're a black person in the Nordic lands, or you're a black person, African descent, or a person not even just the darkest person, not even that, just a little dark, you might want to watch your vitamin D levels in the North territories because it's at a disadvantage. You see what I mean? And what's going to happen over time? Like, there's two things that can happen. If you don't watch your vitamin D, it's going to cause internal organ problems. If you do watch your vitamin D, you'll be fine. But eventually, over time, generation after generation, you will get lighter and you will change. A physiological change is going to happen. You see what I mean? And it happens to all people, and the opposite way around. You know, people that look like this guy, if you go to the equator and you stay there, you're going to have, first of all, you're going to need to consult a doctor about your diet, what's good for you, what's bad, and just to make sure, because you have less protection in your skin from the type of sun that they have. So you just need to consult a doctor about that and make sure that you're healthy. But generation after generation after generation, you're not going to look like this guy anymore. And I know one dude from Ghana. He's a hell of a lot darker than me. Maybe he's not Sudanese dark. He's not South Sudan dark, but he's Ghanaian dark, right? Ghanaian dark brown tone, right? And this dude got an Irish great grandfather. Yo, you would never look at him and tell at all. And he's not light or anything. There's nothing there. You cannot see anything. Kinky hair, looks exactly like every other Ghanaian. So you need to know these things, you know, so you don't make a fool out of yourself, because there's a lot of lived qualifying information. Also, there's a lot of new data that wasn't available before, you know, about the human genome. So, you know, they already know people have already gone back, whatever you call mix, that shit happened 11,000 years ago and more. You see, when it's 60,000 years ago, for some. You see what I mean? So that shit's been going on a very long time, longer than what people were made to believe, you know, in the Enlightenment period. You know, the Enlightenment period they didn't know anything about it. It was just all about your look. There you go. That's what people went on. So in any case, let's continue with this. Let's see.
In your latest piece, you write that, quote, Mr. Pulte's tenure as the director of the
Oh, Mike, I see you there, bro. What's up?
Federal Housing
You good?
Yeah, I was just
tuning
in, listening for a bit before I contribute. But yeah,
Okay.
How's
Gotcha.
everything going? How's it going?
Yeah, good, man. Still.
I see we're on a roll today.
Yeah. In Danish, they say "still a roly." Quiet and calm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that one.
Yeah, still a roly. Yeah. It's a nice phrase, a nice Danish phrase. I like it, and it's a good way to be. Still a roly, man.
Yeah.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's fly shit when somebody asks you, how you doing? And you like, still a roly?
Yeah.
Right? Instead of chaos, motherfucker. Chaos. Ah, my rent is due. What the fuck? Goddamn healthcare. I don't know what to do. The motherfucking tax man is coming. God, they're about to give me a ticket on my car. It's like, no, none of that for me. Just still a roly.
Still a roly. Still a roly.
Everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah, I hope so.
Man. It's terrible, man. In any case, it's good in Denmark. Denmark is fine, but outside of Denmark, when you get closer to the U.S., it's not still a roly at all. Ain't nothing called still a roly. It's like people gonna look at you like still a roly. Yeah, maybe I should rob you if things are going that well. Things going still a roly, huh? What are you? What's your secret? All right. In any case, let's continue.
Finance agency
Struggles deep,
was
man.
marked by a lot of talk and theatrics, but few
In Trump's America, it
tangible
is.
results. Do you expect there to be a different strategy, a different outcome now as he transitions to intelligence?
I'm not sure that Mr. Pulte has said a lot about what he's going to do with.
This is what we got on our security right now. Is these people, man? Let me tell you, they have this. This is an invasion. This is an invasion. These people are there to welcome the foreign government to take control over the U.S. government. That's what it is. I mean, why are they getting the most amateurish, no experienced people to lead every government agency? Right? I mean, you saw what happened to Doge, and it's just like they want to keep on with more and more and more. It's terrible,
the
man.
DNI. I mean, when he came into FHFA,
it shows because his first term, he tried to enlist actual politicians and they did not go with his agenda. We saw it crumble. We saw him replacing officials every single week. So now he's forced to do the non-politician loyalist route.
Yeah, exactly, bro. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. Let's go on here. Let's see.
Plausible credentials as someone who has spent time in the housing industry. And his big promise was to IPO these two companies that have been in conservatorship since 2008. There is a large group of investors that have pushed very hard for a long time for that to happen because that will allow them to make money on the stocks that they have in the companies still. And it hasn't happened, and it hasn't happened, and it hasn't happened. And the types of steps that you would take to make that happen haven't been taken either. So it's sort of difficult to know what he says he might do at DNI will actually end up becoming reality.
Nick, I'm curious.
That's the standard for all appointees, right? All people that are up to be appointed, they can't really tell you anything. They don't want to tell you what their agenda is. It's not this way or that way. There's always this uncertainty. And then when they get in charge, you basically see they're going to be corrupt. Whatever corrupt Trump wants them to do in that agency, that's exactly what they're going to do. And they're going to praise Trump while they're doing it. And they're going to gaslight the American people and make it seem like they're doing it in the name of the U.S. But actually, no, they're doing it in the name of treason. And hopefully it's not going to last past the midterms. But buy a weapon, buy some guns, register your guns, because it likely will continue. And they're going to do everything they can to make sure anyone who is against Trump and the way he is governing will never get control over the United States again. So, So register to vote. You're going to need a lot more votes. You're going to need more votes. They plan on stopping 10, 20, 30% of citizens from voting, maybe 40%. So you're going to need a whole lot of votes, a big voter turnout.
Watergate prosecution. You have seen what happens when government gets weaponized. Pulte has proven his usefulness, his resourcefulness, his loyalty to Donald Trump by drawing on these confidential mortgage records to go after people like Lisa Cook, Letitia James, and others. What kind of damage do you think Pulte could do when given the entire arsenal of U.S. intelligence?
Well, it's just going to be more damage, basically. Look at what he did with Lisa Cook and what he did with Letitia James was completely made up. This guy is totally incompetent. He doesn't understand what mortgage fraud is or how you make a mortgage fraud case. He essentially cherry-picked from different documents to try and concoct a case. Then, of course, Todd Blanche and the rest in the Department of Justice ran with that and indicted both of these people, indicted Letitia James. They didn't do it with Lisa Cook. They tried to use it to fire her from the Fed. But I think once he has access to all of this other information, which is absolutely enormous. This is everything that the CIA has.
For people that don't know, and you might want to help me with this, Michael, what's going on here is that they call it mortgage fraud, but what they're actually pointing out is something that typically happens. There's something that typically is, and is not fraud. They're just claiming it's fraud. There's something that any politician, and there's a reason why they say cherry pick, because if you just look at all the people that get elected to places like Congress or to big city posts like, like Letitia James she might want to move right after she gets a job. Same thing with congressional members. Once they get a job, their salary changes or their job description changes and job location changes. So they might want to buy another place. They might want to move. And when they move, they may not always sell the other place. Maybe they rent the other place out, or maybe they keep the other place. And maybe sometimes they spend a little time there, but their main address gets switched to the other place where they're going to spend most of the time. But there's a gray area there on paperwork, between the paperwork with the bank, between the paperwork with the tax system. Those don't line up because it's impossible to make them line up, because one piece of paper you're filing 1 month, and then 3 and 4 months later you're filing, 6 months later you might be filing a different piece of paper, maybe 8 months later to the tax people. It might be different. And so they're saying, aha, you said here on this paper that your main address was here, but then the other one is here. It's crazy. You see what I'm saying? And that can happen within the 1 year, and they calling that mortgage fraud, but that happens typically to a lot of people, this little gray area, and so they cherry picked it. What they tried to pick out with Letitia James, you could probably get it from 60-70% of all people and lawmakers. What you think about that, Michael?
So especially with James, what happened is when she took out the loan to acquire her second home, it was due to paperwork being, well, they claim faulty, right? Like when initially she wrote down that this isn't her primary residence,
right,
and it isn't her first home,
right,
and a matter of fact, she didn't fill that part out. But when they interviewed her for the loan, she stated that this wasn't her primary residence and this wasn't her second home. Right. On the paperwork, she left it unfilled, but during the interview process for the loan, she clarified that, and whoever interviewed her did not place it that this was her second home.
Okay.
And so that's essentially what they're claiming is fraud, because they're saying that, one, she labeled it as her primary, and two, she essentially lied in that interview process to the bank when the DOJ went back and interviewed the bank themselves and the bank employees who verified the loan. They admitted that they messed up, and so that's essentially why the case was dropped the first time. But
because it's
Trump
the bank people that did
it.
It's the bank people that did it. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
because they have to process.
It was more of a bank error.
Yeah.
Yes,
and it's a typical thing that's going to happen when you're dealing with a bank, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're dealing with either moving, or you got 2 residences, and now you have to file taxes versus you got to do bank paperwork, and exactly. It's something in the process that a lot of people don't really, that a lot of people go through, by the way. but it's never flagged, right? It's rarely
Never.
flagged.
It's never really flagged because the difference in what it would amount to in terms of what she would have to pay in interest is fractional. Like it literally is fractional.
There
like
was no advantage. There wasn't a real advantage for her to do it.
It was basically exactly.
It's just ridiculous.
Like for what she makes in salary and is worth overall, it doesn't make sense. Right? Like she could, even if she wanted to now, and they wanted to charge her for said interest or difference in interest, she
$50
could pay that. Yeah, it comes out to like a couple $1,000s. It's something that's like minute.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Trump is like millions of dollars.
Yeah, no, and this is the reason why is it's retaliatory, right? He's essentially doing it because she's the one who brought up the charges of his 34 counts. Like she's the reason why. She is the main reason why, and so he has a vendetta against her because obviously she essentially almost put him in jail. Right? Like, had he not became president of the United States, his sentence would not have been postponed or commuted, and he would be in jail right now. So he has the ultimate vendetta with her in particular.
Right.
You know, and so he's not going to give this up. He's not going to give up this case. He's going to find, and he's gone to every single length to be able to get her prosecuted. The previous acting AG, he had her try it, and if I'm not mistaken, she was a real estate lawyer, someone who had nothing to do with any of this. She had no clue what fraud was.
Yeah, she was going after slumlords, though.
Exactly.
Right? Wasn't she in New York? Or am I right? Am I
well,
right about that?
Letitia James?
Yeah. Was she?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a big part of.
It wasn't
her
just
campaign.
Trump. Yeah, it wasn't just Trump. You know, but Trump takes
exactly.
it personal.
It was a larger crackdown on fraud, essentially, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's where he won't give up this vendetta. The previous AG that he had try Letitia, she ended up getting thrown out because she doesn't qualify. Her only experience is real estate law. She has no experience as an AG. No one's going to approve her, and essentially, she didn't get approved. But she did try to charge Letitia, right?
Yeah.
And it just goes to show his vendetta, right? It just goes to show that he has no respect for our judicial system. He uses it how he uses his defamation lawsuits, right?
He's been getting a pass his whole life, and you're just supposed to do that for him. Everybody's supposed to give him a pass. If he cheats, you just give him a pass, and then the rules apply differently to everyone else.
Yes.
And he takes it personal if you don't. Just keep giving him a pass. It's like, it's
so what
sad,
Trump has done historically outside of his political career as a quote-unquote businessman is he's always, and this is obviously common with a lot of high net worth individuals, they tie you up in litigation, right? They threaten you with litigation and they tie you up in litigation, even on the civil level. And so you essentially force yourself to plead out, you just pay whatever sum to drop whatever case you have against him, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did it plenty of times when he had Trump University and a lot of his other failed ventures that ended up going bankrupt. Anyone who goes against him or tries to speak out against him, he essentially takes out litigation. And that's how he's treated the criminal court and the DOJ currently.
Yeah.
He just tries to tie him up in litigation, right?
Yeah.
He forces you to spend money on a lawyer, right? And hopefully you have enough money to have a high profile enough attorney to continue to fight the case and get caught up in litigation, or you get tired and quit, right? Or drop the case against him.
Yeah, and if you have enough luck in the civil courts and he's tired of you, then he's going to weaponize the government to go after you, the AG to go after them. And find criminal charges. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Now let me say, this guy that they're appointing, this is what's sad. They're trying to appoint a new person to the CIA, right? To intelligence, to the intelligence community. And but this guy right here on the screen, what are the chances of him actually doing something like finding out who else was involved internationally with the Epstein files, finding out what blackmail, what espionage happened, what foreign states have the information about the Epstein files, what foreign actors, what spies had something to do with the Epstein files. What are the chances of him doing that versus attacking somebody like Letitia James?
No, the chances are he's probably going to reinforce that the foreign governments who do have any information on the Epstein files ends up destroying them or getting rid of them somehow, right? Or shutting up the individuals who know about the Epstein files. That's what I believe.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And let's not forget the last individual who we still haven't gotten any info on that got arrested with the gold. Right? We still don't know anything about that, and he was CIA, correct?
Yeah, exactly. That went quiet. They went quiet on that. That's and that's interesting. But the CIA, wouldn't they have a role with wanting to know what's up with Epstein?
I mean, they're more. I mean, they would deal with that more on an international level.
Right.
They're more intelligence, so they would find out what he has done abroad. And partner
who's been
up
involved
with any,
him. Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So they would partner up with any other foreign governments and see, what their national intelligence has against him in terms of, Epstein files and verifying what that information looks like overseas.
Yeah. So this might be one of his new jobs to try to find out what governments have this and, but we already know Israel and Russia. How about that? Start there. I can help you. You don't have to pay me. I'll help you for free, motherfucker. You don't have to hire his ass. I mean, maybe we're the directors of the CIA over here. Maybe that's our job and shit, as podcasters. Because this motherfucker, for some reason, I don't know. I doubt he's going to be useful to the United States of America. In any capacity. But who knows? I mean, luckily he won't work alone. So. He won't be given all that power and shit just to work alone and shit. He's going to have every rank and file like looking over his shoulder like, what's this new dude all about? All right, so listen, fuck it. Speaking of the Epstein files, let's continue. El Rancho, the Epstein files continue. There's new shit going on here. There's new shit going on with the Epstein files, yo, in El Rancho. Shit is actually moving forward. It's not on legacy media. Why? Have no clue.
Make no mistake about it. Both times Donald Trump's been in office, he's had his Department of Justice.
He'll tie you up in litigation.
Turn a blind eye.
Huh? He'll tie you up in litigation.
That's the threat, right?
Yeah.
Every other major legacy media has paid out, right? They've paid out to him.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. The legacy media doesn't want to touch the Epstein files or Trump and the Epstein files. They don't want to touch any relationship with Trump. And I mean, they are a little bit, but let's be real. They don't right now. Everybody is fucking scared of Trump. Everyone, regular, just news reporters, especially the ones that, how could I say this, don't own their own shop, right? Because look, these podcasters, the people that own their own, like what's the guy here, Popak, right? He owns his own law firm, right? He works with other lawyers that own their own law firms, right? I mean, he's a mover and shaker. So if you come after him, he wants you to bring his ass to court. They're going to be like, ha, good. Where is the what do you call it when you file a case against someone? Discovery. He's like, good. Finally, some discovery. So they're not going to come after him. You know what I'm saying? But they will go after a CNN news anchor. You know what I'm saying? They will do that and get her fired or get that person fired or try to take the license from CNN. You can't take this guy's license. He's going to fight back. His license is very simple. It's in the what is it? He can be brought to the legal community. What do they call that? When you take a lawyer to try to get their license revoked, What is that? The
disbarred.
The bar. Yeah.
Bar.
He could. Yeah. He could. They could try to find some legal reason why he could be disbarred. But this guy's these lawyers don't operate like that. It's very few of them that operate. He knows the law too well. He can operate within the law all day and get what he wants done, and he can argue with himself. So there's no chance of that happening. So we're seeing the difference between legacy media taking up shit and goddamn podcasters. Like the podcasters are really doing a lot of the story here. But let's hear what he's talking about here with Rancho. It's a few podcasters that have, but mainly Midas Touch though. I got to say big up to Midas Touch. Mainly Midas Touch has been all over this, but this is developing right now. So let's hear it.
Independent media.
And willfully ignore investigations related to Epstein's Zorro Ranch, about 30 miles outside of Santa Fe, a ranch where some people have said there are dead bodies. There are people buried there, the result of fetish sex and sexual abuse, including of women. And the Trump administration, Department of Justice and FBI, starting in 2019, ended all investigations and actually ordered the state of New Mexico to stop investigating Zorro Ranch. Have you ever heard of such a thing? Unless you are a very good friend of a child sex trafficker.
Let's say that again.
2019 ended all investigations and actually ordered the state of New Mexico to stop investigating Zorro Ranch. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
So the FBI ordered that.
Unless you
right?
are a very...
The FBI ordered that they stop investigating Zorro Ranch? Is that what he just said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Department of Justice and FBI, starting in 2019, ended all investigations and actually ordered the state of New Mexico to stop investigating Zorro Ranch. Have you...
Okay, so in the chat, how many? I know it doesn't seem to be many Trump supporters in the chat today. The trolls, I don't know what happens to them. Maybe they didn't get their 5-cent salary for the week. So they ain't going to work. They on strike and shit. You know what I'm saying? But in any case, put a 1 in the chat if you agree that was okay that the FBI in 2019 ordered the authorities to stop investigating El Rancho, whatever the fuck it is. Epstein.
In New Mexico,
in New Mexico, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that was okay for the FBI Justice Department to do that. Put a 2 in the chat if you think that was totally wrong and goes against your principles. I'm gonna put a 2 in there.
That's insane, though. Like, that's insane. You stop a federal investigation on a state level because of what? That's insane. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing wrong there. We just not interested. You know what I'm saying? Dorati Carino, you also have to put a 1 or 2 in the chat. Even if you're a Trump supporter, you still got to do that. Come on now, or I'm gonna block your ass. Okay, you probably don't care. They be on suicide missions, these trolls. Let's see here. But you still in the chat for now. But please put a 1 or a 2. Doratis Carino, am I saying that right? I think so. In any case, let's go. Yeah, I only see 1. Damn, everybody got 2s. It's no one's going. We don't have any suicide people in here.
You ever heard of such?
All right, fuck it. Let's go on. Let's go on.
Unless you are a very good friend of a child sex trafficker like Donald Trump is, he has his Department of Justice, then led by Bill Barr, order the state to stop investigating and pull off the manpower about Zorro Ranch.
Okay, why would Bill Barr under Trump give that order to stop investigating El Rancho, the Epstein, the ranch in New Mexico? Why would he do that? What would the purpose be of Bill Barr doing that? Like, I mean, I know it seems like a stupid question to ask because it's obvious, but let's have alternate theories too. Let's have some alternate theories. Especially, I want to hear from the Trump supporters. What's the theory? Why did Bill Barr do that? Why was it? Because he was under a trance from Biden still? What is it? Obama, kidnapped his mama, Bill Barr's mama, and was like, if you don't do this, I'm going to cut her fucking head off. What was the theory? We have your mama, Bill Barr. You better not investigate that ranch. This is Obama talking. Well, yeah, I mean, what happened there? Or did Bill Barr just drop the ball? And, oh, well, fuck it. I don't know. I'm just here to fuck around. I'm not here to investigate anybody. You know, oh, he's on it. Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, Bill Barr is in the... That makes a whole lot of goddamn sense. Mustard Duster, actually, I think you're onto something there. 100% Mustard Duster. Yeah, he is in those files, maybe, Bill Barr. That might be the number one. Ding! The Price is Right. You got it, Family Feud. Yay! What's the number one answer? He's on it. Yo. He's on it, yo. That's the number one answer. Next. Who's next? Can I get it? Go ahead now. Rafika, what's you, big girl? Come on in. Your turn, big girl. With the number one reason Bill Barr gave the order to stop the investigation on El Rancho. What say you? He was trying to make a mayonnaise sandwich and didn't have time. Okay, so okay, yeah, you a genius. No habla español. Okay, let's go. I don't know. I think that's the only reason because Bill Barr must be in them files too, man. I tell you, he's even worse than Trump, boy. He's really like, they probably have. Yeah, go ahead.
And if not, right? If he was so adamant on it, why isn't he pressing charges against Bill Barr now?
Yeah. Why isn't he doing that? Yep, exactly. You know
why? Why isn't he? Right? Like those are the questions I have. If you want to say he was acting as an independent actor, fine, right? Now, where's the punishment for acting independent of what your true intent is or was if you claim that was your true intent?
True. And why did Trump get so, have all these nice words to say about Bill Clinton? and Bill Clinton's in that. He was all like, no, Bill Clinton's a nice guy, man. Bill Clinton's a nice guy.
He's a decent guy.
He's a decent guy. That means when Trump says he's a decent guy, that is very peculiar. That's like decent. Could that mean indecent for some reason? Because when Trump says things, everything he says, you got to automatically think the opposite. You're just like, why would he call somebody decent if he wasn't? Because Trump is not decent. When an indecent person calls another person decent,
you have to question how decent they are, for
right.
sure.
What the fuck? Where's the credibility there, man? It's like, in any case. All right, let's hear some more. El Rancho, let's go.
Well, now we've got the breaking news that a special committee of the New Mexico legislature, bipartisan, and all of this headed by Attorney General Raul Torres, is issuing subpoenas. Subpoenas in order, in their view, to create a complete documented record of the child sex trafficking ring and how it touched Zorro Ranch, something our federal government, controlled by Donald Trump, obviously has been unwilling to pursue. Let me read to you from the statement made by Raul Torres, the Attorney General, towards the survivor community. Here's what he said. To the survivors, your voices and your stories matter. What you choose to share and entrust with law enforcement in New Mexico will directly aid in this investigation, and we want to hear directly from you over the weeks and months ahead. And in particular, they're going to focus on subpoenaing federal agencies, including the Department of Justice and including the FBI and their own Santa Fe Department of Justice. I'm glad you're here on Legal AF to kick off our dozen or so fresh videos. Let's get into Zorro Ranch. There's been lots of reporting. Some of it has been done and chronicled by a reporter named Alyssa Valdez Rodriguez. Alyssa Valdez Rodriguez claims in the last week or so on her Substack that she has been the victim of a sonic weapon aimed at her from either a plane or a backpack-sized one, and that she has been suffering the illness and debilitating impacts ever since. She doesn't say who did it, but I think she's implying that it is the federal government. Remember, Donald Trump bragged about the use of a sonic weapon in Venezuela that left the guards around the dictator of Venezuela, that left the guards of Maduro bleeding from their ears and their eyes and unable to move. So of all the reporters doing all the stories, it's Alyssa Valdez Rodriguez that has been, in her view, attacked by a sonic weapon as she's trying to peel back the onion at Zorro Ranch. So kudos to the special committee.
Wow. Like, yeah, wow. A sonic weapon. And, you know, I'm sorry, but I think there must be something to it. Let me see here. I'm just curious about that. Yeah.
I just want to mention Havana syndrome. This was also done in Cuba.
Havana syndrome. Okay. Let me see. Are there claims the USA military has used a sonic weapon? And if so, who is making the claims and where? Yeah, I'm curious about that. That's something.
When you're done with that, look up Havana syndrome and you'll see the connection.
Yeah, it may even come up here. You said Venezuela or Cuba, right? So let me see here.
Cuba. So the U.S. implemented a similar technology that they claim, or Trump boasted about, for the attack on Venezuela. But this started well before that, where it was used against U.S. citizens or visitors to Cuba, and it was called Havana syndrome.
Havana syndrome. Okay, let me look that up too. And I'm going to pull this up on the screen real quick so people can see what I'm reviewing. Okay, it says here, first of all, here it says the case of Havana syndrome, which the U.S. government officially calls anomalous health incidents, AHIs, is the most famous real-world mystery involving alleged energy weapons. However, the roles are reversed here. The U.S. military and diplomatic corps are the alleged victims, not the perpetrators. For nearly a decade, the corps claim has been that a hostile foreign adversary, frequently suspected to be Russia, has used a secret portable directed energy weapon to target American personnel. What are the claims? Since 2016, more than 1,500 U.S. diplomats, intelligence officers, and military personnel across the globe, beginning in Havana, Cuba, and later reported in Moscow, Vienna, and even Washington, D.C., have reported sudden, debilitating neurological symptoms. Okay, the sonic element. The sonic element. Many victims reported that the onset of their illness began with a sudden, intensely painful, high-pitched sound described as a piercing buzz, clicking, or mechanical grinding that seemed to follow them or disappear when they stepped out of a specific room. The symptoms. The immediate sounds were followed by severe headaches, vertigo, cognitive brain fog, memory loss, insomnia, and balance issues. In some cases, the long-term effects were severe enough to force personnel into retirement. Is it actually a sonic weapon? While the phenomenon is famous for the piercing noises victims heard, scientific consensus has shifted away from the acoustic sound weapon. The acoustic disproof. Experts noticed early on that sound waves don't easily penetrate solid walls to cause localized brain trauma without being deafeningly loud to everyone else in the area. In fact, a famous audio recording of the sound taken by the diplomat in Cuba was later analyzed and identified by scientists as the mating call of the Indies short-tailed cricket. The microwave. Okay. The microwave radio frequency theory. A landmark 2020 study by the National academies of science concluded that the most plausible mechanism for the legitimate injuries was pulsed directed radio frequency RF or microwave energy. Okay. Note, the sounds victims reported hearing are believed to be the Frey effect, a real neurological phenomenon where pulse microwave radiation interacts with human nervous system, causing the brain to perceive a clicking or buzzing sound inside the head, even though no actual acoustic sound waves exist in the air. Okay. The latest 2026 turning points. The debate over Havana syndrome has flared up with major new developments. The U.S. government quietly acquired a device. It was revealed that the U.S. government, via the Department of Homeland Security and Pentagon funding, clandestinely purchased a portable backpack-sized device containing components of Russian origin. The Pentagon has been testing it on animals, and investigators believe the device emits the exact type of pulse radio frequency energy capable of replicating the neurological symptoms suffered by Havana syndrome victims. Okay, CBS News. The media firestorm, a high-profile 60 Minutes investigative report, detailed these tests and featured the interviews with military personnel, including a retired lieutenant colonel who claimed they were targeted multiple times by the invisible energy field, bringing the secret weapon narrative back into the mainstream. The intelligence divide. Okay, damn. The intelligence divide. Officially, the U.S. intelligence community remains deeply divided. A major intelligence review concluded that it is very unlikely. Where is that at? It is very unlikely a foreign adversary is executing a systemic global campaign against the U.S. personnel, attributing many cases to conventional medical conditions, stress, or environmental factors. However, two intelligence agencies dissented, stating there's roughly even chance a foreign power has developed deployed a prototype weapon capable of causing these exact biological effects. So the intelligence community is split. Ultimately, while Havana syndrome involves prominent claims of a high-tech sonic energy weapon, it remains a highly classified and heavily debated intelligence mystery, where the U.S. military functions as the investigating and targeted party rather than the attacker. But let me move back here before the Havana thing and just go into what this other one says here. It is shortly after. Okay. Now, regarding this other incident, the sonic weapon, yes, there are highly publicized claims regarding the U.S. military using a sonic weapon. These claims generally fall into two categories: a viral 2026 rumor concerning a high-profile military operation and standard real-world deployments of specialized acoustic devices. The 2026 Venezuela raid claims the most recent and high-profile claim occurred in January 2026 following a U.S. military operation that removed Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro from power. I wonder how he's doing. What's up, Maduro? I mean, listen, I'm not for necessarily everything you do and all of that, but you're still a fellow American, and I'm not with Donald Trump either. So I prefer free and fair elections and peace in Venezuela for everybody, just everybody. I want Venezuela to do well and people to be free in general without pointing fingers. Let's see here. And free means not owned by somebody outside either, you know, owned by and operated by the Venezuelan people for the Venezuelan people. Okay. What was claimed? Rumors spread rapidly that U.S. forces deployed a devastating secret sonic weapon referred to in some audio clips as an expansive sonic wave. During the rave, the weapon allegedly emitted an invisible wall of sound or high-pitched whistle across Caracas that left hundreds of Venezuelan soldiers immobilized on their knees, vomiting and bleeding from their noses and ears. Who made the claims? Social media, and influencers. The rumor originated from an unverified anonymous Spanish language audio message circulated on WhatsApp. It was later amplified on X, formerly Twitter, by the political influencers, claiming it was an interview with the loyal Venezuelan security guard. The media. The New York Post published an article detailing the alleged witness account. The U.S. officials. The rumor gained mainstream traction when the White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt amplified the report on social media. Shortly after Donald Trump explicitly claimed in a News Nation interview that the U.S. military had used a secret sonic weapon during the raid, boasting that nobody else has it. I mean, Trump is so weird like that because, you know, how would he know? First of all, how would he actually know? And yeah, that's what I wonder. How would he know what they use, and who would tell him? Why would someone tell him in the first place what was used? And can you trust that people are informing him? Can you trust that? Because this guy's called Cankles every day of the week. I mean, but in any case, but maybe I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm just curious about this. Where it happened, the alleged deployment, and even if it was true, why would he tell people? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just so many questions. Dumb. Yeah, maybe he's just that dumb, right? He's like, fuck it. I heard it. I found out. I'm just going to tell everybody. Guess what, y'all? Guess what we have? A secret weapon. That's fucking Trump for you, though, man. He's going to tell everybody all your secret weapons. Where it happened, the alleged deployment was in Caracas, Venezuela. The reality, the Department of Defense declined to comment. Military and acoustic experts noted that while the U.S. has acoustic equipment, the extreme symptoms described in the viral rumor, such as instant vomiting and bleeding from the ears and nose in mass, do not align with the known capabilities of realistic sonic technology, suggesting the claims were highly exaggerated or fabricated to explain the rapid capitulation of Venezuelan forces. The real-world use, long-range acoustic devices, LRAD. If we look inside of unverified secret weapon rumors, the U.S. military openly owns and uses directional acoustic equipment, though they are classified as communication tools and non-lethal deterrents rather than sci-fi weapons. What it used, the LRAD long-range acoustic devices, often called a sound cannon. It is a specialized loudspeaker that can emit targeted deafening deterrent tones up to 135 to 160 decibels over long distances, causing severe headaches, panics, and potential hearing damage to anyone in its path. Who uses it and where? The U.S. Navy LRADs are formally deployed on ships worldwide to hail approaching vessels. Okay, damn. Let me see here. It says to hail approaching vessels, deter pirates, and issue warnings at sea. Okay. The U.S. Army Marines, they have been deployed in combat zones such as Iraq to assist with checkpoint security and crowd disruption. Okay. In domestic law enforcement, National Guard, while the military primarily uses them abroad, the National Guard and various U.S. police departments have occasionally requested them for crowd, blah, blah, blah. Historic psychological warfare. The U.S. has also historically used sound as a psychological weapon rather than a physical one. Who and where? The U.S. Army during the Vietnam War, Operation Wandering Soul, where they blasted eerie, ghostly sounds from helicopters, psychologically terrifying Viet Cong. Okay, whatever. Who and what? Yeah, okay, there we have it. So that's what they're saying about it. I mean, yeah, but then again, listen, we don't need to go to that because I mean, we have this, what they're saying right here. I mean, this is hella interesting. What's being reported. She says something happened here. Like, so this sounds more like, I don't know. Could it be like what they're describing in the Havana thing, like you said? Let's play it back.
And unable to move. So of all the reporters doing all the stories, it's Alyssa Valdez Rodriguez that has been, in her view, attacked by a sonic weapon as she's trying to peel back the onion at Zorro Ranch. So kudos to the special committee
Okay, so
formed in New Mexico to go out.
So she thinks she's been attacked by some sort of sonic weapon. Okay, and that would mean that she's experienced what do they call it? What is it called? Vitriol? What is it? Let me see the symptoms here. Sonic weapon spread rapidly. U.S. forces. Okay, let me see here. what is it called? The V word, when people get delirious or not delirious, they lose balance. Okay, well, wait a second. You're actually saying vertigo, right? You're actually saying this is the Havana syndrome, right?
Yeah.
What she got sounds more like the Havana syndrome, right?
It does.
Yeah, not necessarily the sonic weapon thing. So this is curious. Maybe these terms people are using them to describe both, right? Generalizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that they're trying to generalize it and define it,
right.
But they don't obviously have like a pinpoint on the exact technology, and so how it affects them is how they're describing it.
So she's saying she had debilitating neurological symptoms like illness with the sudden intensely painful, high-pitched sound described as piercing buzz clicking or mechanical grinding that seemed to follow them or disappear when they stopped out of. Okay. So symptoms: the immediate sounds were followed by severe headaches, vertigo, cognitive brain fog, memory loss, insomnia, and balance issues. In some cases, the long-term effects were severe enough to force personnel. So she's describing what U.S. personnel have described, essentially. Yeah, and they're saying it was by Russians. That Russians have some equipment like that, and that the U.S. has also now acquired it. So, all right, let's listen some more. Let's hear some more now. Thanks for that, Mike. Good looking out on that too. That piece of information, bro. All right, let's.
Yeah,
see.
no, I mean, I'm learning with you guys, and that just made the correlation. I'm like, this sounds a lot like Havana syndrome.
Yes, it does, bro. I'm just catching on to it. So thank you. I appreciate it, y'all, because I missed this story, and it was apparently there's been stories on 60 Minutes about it too. So that's CBS. So I kind of scratched CBS, but I maybe I need to not do that so fast, you know. But in any case, let's hear some more about this El Rancho story now. The Jeffrey Epstein dead bodies cover up that's going on right now. There's activity on this case right now. So let's hear.
And get to the truth here. That's all people want. According to the Attorney General, this is what he had to say about the probe. We will name what happened. We will name who was responsible. And we will do so with the evidentiary regard that survivors deserve and that the law requires. That was actually Representative Andrea Reeb, a Republican, at a meeting at the New York, Mexico state capitol. And she's one of 4 lawmakers on a commission. In fact, we have a clip about it right now. Let's play the clip.
Virginia was not only abused by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, she was trafficked to extremely wealthy, powerful, and dangerous individuals. Some of that trafficking happened right here in New Mexico at Zorro Ranch. That is not speculation. That is not rumor. That is testimony. And New Mexico now stands at crossroads. This state can either repeat the failures we have already witnessed across institutions and protected power over people, or New Mexico can lead with courage.
Also decided to issue these 14 subpoenas. Now, they're not to a specific person, but they are to entities like the estate of Jeffrey Epstein, the Department of Justice, the Department of Justice's offices in New Mexico, the Attorney General's office, multiple entities that they say could have played a role in this or did not do enough investigating. I can't remember if it was Sky or Amanda, but one of them talked about this meaningful separation between the state and the federal government, meaning that the state can get justice for survivors if the federal government is not going to. And we know these survivors have been let down time and time again by the federal government. And even if you just look at the way that the committee in DC is handling this, we heard an interview from Pam Bondi, or there was an interview with Pam Bondi last week. And yet, only.
Speaking of that, something interesting is there. She just mentioned. Now they're saying that the state can give reward victims, right? Even if the federal government refused to, right? But here's the thing. Remember, Trump recently has said, this is about a different topic. He said that he's planning on scrapping Medicare, the whole thing, no federal funds for Medicare, and that states will have to handle that themselves. Think about that. Now, I'm sure that's shocking because obviously the first question would be like, okay, well, what are we going to do with all the taxes then the tax money. Will you still want all that tax money from us? Because Medicaid and Medicare is one of the big portions of the federal taxes, right? So are they just going to continue collecting that money, or is that money going to be scrapped? Is the federal taxes going to get lower for American citizens, right? But the other thing is this idea that, yeah, can't the states do reparations for African Americans? Can't the states do Medicaid and Medicare? I mean, look, if the federal government doesn't want to manage it, right? And we don't need them, and they can lower the federal taxes since they're scrapping it. Then why can't it be managed under state? Why shouldn't the state pay? I mean, think about this. Federal money goes to Trump and his sycophants. And if you can't control the federal government, what the fuck would you want your taxes going to them for? So I'm curious about how this is going to play out for a lot of reasons, because there is going to, you're going to have to argue one way or the other. And if you can argue that states can move ahead and do this, obviously states can do a lot, right? So I'm just curious about that. But it's not to stick on one topic. It applies to many different things. But I'm curious about hearing this, how this plays out now. Let me pull it back a little and see here. Let's see.
That the committee in D.C. is handling this. We heard an interview from Pam Bondi, or there was an interview with Pam Bondi last week, and yet only one Republican showed up, and that was the chairman of the committee.
And leave it to the Department of Justice and FBI under Donald Trump.
Let me play that.
Sky or Amanda, but one of them talked about this meaningful separation between the state and the federal government, meaning that the state can get justice for survivors if the federal government is not going to. And we
Right. The state, exactly. And what are they calling that? Meaningful separation between the state and the federal government.
Was Sky or Amanda, but one of them talked about this meaningful separation between the state and the federal government, meaning that the state can get justice for survivors if the federal government is not going to. And we know these survivors have been let down time and time again by the federal government. And even if you just look at the way that the committee in D.C. is handling this, we heard an interview from Pam Bondi, or there was an interview with Pam Bondi last week, and yet only one Republican showed up, and that was the chairman of the committee.
And leave it to the Department of Justice and FBI under Donald Trump to believe there's no story at Zorro Ranch. How do they know? There's references to it in the 3 million pages that were released under Todd Blanche and Pam Bondi. There's reporting that there are bodies buried there, and yet the Department of Justice turns a blind eye. Even James Comey, one of the MAGA who runs the Oversight Committee, was perplexed as to why the Zorro Ranch investigation was ended. Here's a clip.
Sounds pretty sick if what's been said about it's true. What are you hearing?
Well, I'm glad that the New Mexico authorities are going there and searching that property. I know that if no one searches the property, whenever this investigation is finally concluded, people are always going to have questions about whether or not there were deaths there, whether or not there were mysterious surgeries and things like that happening on the ranch. I don't know, but I do know this. The federal government asked New Mexico to stop their investigation, I believe back in 2019, of that ranch. So there's just so many questions about how the government failed the victims and how government failed in trying to prosecute Epstein sooner. I mean, this whole thing doesn't make sense. Everyone has conspiracy theories on, how Epstein was able to get away with it. Was it because he had, powerful friends?
Yeah.
Was it because he was an agent? No, we don't know, but we're going to find out. And I'm glad that they're on the ground now in New Mexico searching that property.
Congressman, you said in 2019 the government told New Mexico authorities to stand down investigating the ranch. Do you know what branch of the government?
It was the Department of Justice, I believe, and I believe it was because they I believe it perhaps was the Southern District of New York, because they had taken over the investigation at that point. So again, these are questions that we have. We want to get the answers, but I will say publicly, I'm glad that the New Mexico authorities are on the ground searching that property.
Is that true? Is this true what he just said? Is he trying to blame all this on the Southern District of New York? Is that what he asked? Let me hear this one more time. because this is Fox and this is Jesse Waters, so they be capping on that shit.
Trying to prosecute Epstein sooner. I mean, this whole thing doesn't make sense. Everyone has conspiracy theories on, how Epstein was able to get away with it. Was it because he had, powerful friends?
Yeah.
Was it because he was an agent? No, we don't know, but we're going to find out. And I'm glad that they're on the ground now in New Mexico searching that property.
Congressman, you said in 2019 the government told New Mexico authorities to stand down investigating the ranch. Do you know what branch of the government?
All right. So, what branch of the government told what do you say, prosecutors or investigators? Let me see. Sorry about my memory.
New Mexico searching that property.
Congressman, you said in 2019 the government.
Southern District of New York, which is essentially the federal government, a federal branch of New York, which is the same federal branch that prosecuted Trump, ironically.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me just see something.
Told New Mexico authorities to stand down investigating the ranch.
Investigating. Told New Mexico authorities to stop investigating. Zorro Ranch regarding Epstein. And who was the president and what is it? Is it the Department of Justice and head of the Department of Justice, right?
Yeah, DOJ, yep, Department of Justice.
At that time, the order was given. Let's just be very clear about this, because this is Jesse Waters, Trump, basically liar, extravagant. Motherfuckers on there capping every goddamn day. Okay, it's it's so funny because they know how to spook people all the time. It has something to do with New Yorkers and liberals. It's like anything. Just New York.
Paint that narrative.
Exactly. Now let's.
And
see.
Remember, again, they're purposely doing that because the Southern District of New York is the same district that prosecuted Trump for his crimes.
Yeah, they some scammers, right? You know what I mean? They did it again. See, we told you. They corrupt. Southern District in New York. Now here it is. The request to halt the New Mexico investigation into Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch came from the executive branch of the government, specifically through the U.S. Department of Justice. Who gave the order? The request was made in 2019, shortly after Epstein's arrest and subsequent death in federal custody. According to the former New Mexico Attorney General Hector Balderas, federal prosecutors from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, SDNY, so it is true, it's that district, but yeah, contacted his office and asked New Mexico authorities to pause and defer their activities' state-level investigation. The federal prosecutors stated that they were already conducting a massive multi-jurisdictional federal prosecution and wanted to avoid a parallel state investigation interfering with the federal case. At that time, this request was made 2019. The leadership was as followed: President Donald Trump, Attorney General William Barr. Recent developments. 2026. This arrangement became a major point of public scrutiny after millions of pages of the federal investigative files were disclosed under Congress Epstein Files Transparency Act. The files revealed that despite asking New Mexico's authorities to stand down so the feds could handle it, federal authorities never actually executed a search warrant on the Zorro Ranch before Epstein's death or the sale of the property. Consequently, New Mexico Attorney General Raul Torres officially reopened the state. Now, did Bill Barr have any knowledge of what request came out of the New York, what is it? The New York
Southern District of New York.
Southern. Thank you very much. Yeah, Michael's in Brooklyn, by the way. So he's a New Yorker. So Southern District. Let's see here of NYC. No, of New York. Is it New York City or New York? Just New York.
No, New York, Southern District of New York, which is specified Like Southern District means New York.
Yeah, it's
like New York City.
Yeah, it's New York. Okay. Southern District means New York City. Okay, right, and it's part of New York State. Okay, so there's no public or official evidence providing that Attorney General William Barr had direct specific knowledge of this other request made by the Southern District of New York to halt New Mexico. Okay, while Bill Barr has faced heavy scrutiny regarding the overreaching federal handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case, the specifics of so they would, more people up the line would have known about this, because he's already been criticized for basically the federal government having their hands all in this beyond. So let's see here. Were others in the FBI outside of the Southern District? District. Oh, did I spell that right? Oh shit. District aware of this order or this request? I'm curious about this, and if so, whom? I'm curious about that. Like, just to make it clear, because when Jesse Waters speaks, inquiring minds want to know if it's correct. The recent declassified federal documents made public under the Epstein Files Transparency Act revealed that knowledge of New Mexico's investigation and specific coordination to deconflict it extended well beyond just the prosecutors in the Southern District of New York. Personnel within multiple branches of the Federal Bureau of Investigations were actively aware of the situation. FBI New York Field Office, the SDNI counterparts. Because the SDNI does not investigate cases on its own, it operates hand in hand with the FBI's New York Field Office. Who knew? Okay. FBI's New York Public Corruption and Human Trafficking Squads. They knew contacts. Okay, let me see here. Logging evidence. Okay, they knew to know. Okay, but who else? FBI Albuquerque Field Office, local jurisdiction. That's New Mexico, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yep.
Yeah. So internal files. Okay. New Mexico. FBI headquarters, Washington, D.C., and Eddie Aragon. That's what I wanted to know. Perhaps the most striking evidence of wider FBI awareness involves the chilling tip that went all the way through the Bureau's formal reporting channels. Who knew? High-level analysis and investigators monitoring FBI's central intake systems. The context: shortly after Epstein's arrest in 2019, an anonymous email was sent to the Albuquerque radio host, Eddie Aragon, claiming that a former employee had videos of abuse at Zorro Ranch and alleged that 2 victims were buried on the property. This tip was immediately forwarded to the FBI DC. Okay. The failures. The newly unsealed files show that the tip was received and logged with the FBI system, meaning personnel outside of New York were explicitly aware of several criminal allegations tied directly to the New Mexico property at the exact same time. Same time local state police were being told to stand down. Why this matters: the disclosure that various corners of the FBI New Mexico had halted its probe, while the FBI itself sat on tips like the one sent to Eddie Aragon and ultimately failed to raid the ranch. It is exactly what prompted New Mexico. Okay, so this is what it is. So, in other words, everybody in the FBI knew, and this is what prompted New Mexico to, go around them, right? Essentially, it sounds like that's what they're saying, or to move differently from that point on. So, or to respond accordingly. Let's see here. All right, so let me just double back now and catch up on this. Here we go.
Do you know what branch of the government?
It was the Department of Justice, I believe, and
all branches.
And I believe it was because they I believe it perhaps was the Southern District of New York, because they had taken over the investigation at that point.
It looks like does he have an earpiece in his head where he's just saying this stuff? Because notice that question. That was a setup question, wasn't it? That was purpose.
Yes, it definitely was.
Exactly. They did that, that was a whole setup. It's like to lie, let you think that it was just New Yorkers, right? When actually the scandal is way beyond it. People in the higher ups in the FBI knew about this shit, and these people just want to put it on New York. You know, that is so pathetic. But this is the news cycle we dealing with. This is Fox News.
Yeah.
This is
Especially Fox.
Yeah, and this is how they
give the half truth.
Yeah. Oh no, this is disinformation, bro.
It is. It really is.
This is disinformation.
Yeah, right.
What are they talking about? He believes. I believe it was the Southern. Why do you believe, motherfucker? You're supposed to be an expert on this now. You're the goddamn person chairing the whole thing. How did he not know this? How does he not know it? How you going to chair? I mean, this is pathetic, bro. This is pathetic. But in any case, yeah, okay. Let's see.
It was the Department of Justice, I believe, and I believe it was because they I believe it perhaps was the Southern District of New York, because
it was the Department of DEI, Southern District of New York.
They had taken over.
I swear to you, it was the Department of DEI. Yeah,
the investigation at that point.
Motherfuckers, man. It was the transsexual unit of the DEI that did it. I know it was. It was the men. It was the dudes with the, Anyway, let's go on. All right.
So again, these are questions that we have. We want to get the answers, but I will say publicly, I'm glad that the New Mexico authorities are on the ground searching that property. I don't know if there's anything there. I don't think anybody knows, but I do know this, Jesse. It's probably never been searched before very thoroughly.
That's crazy.
The house probably has, but the property hasn't.
This needs to be picked up. And we've spoken often here on Legal AF about states and state attorneys general stepping in and doing the hard work to bring dignity to survivors and to bring justice, because our Department of Justice has been completely corrupted. Can't count on the Civil Rights Division to do anything but go after Donald Trump's perceived political enemies. And they seem to relish doing that. But who's there for the survivor?
Gomer Pyle here to investigate. Gomer Pyle. I think it was the FBI transsexual unit of the Southern Northern New York State. I swear it was.
We keep talking about the formation of a weaponization fund.
The DEI transsexual unit of the FBI did it. It was their fault. But I tell you, Gomer Pyle.
To give Jan Sixers and others money because the Biden administration went after them. Where's the fund for the survivors of Epstein, for the more than 1,400 survivors? Because the Department of Justice and FBI let them down, whether it was in 2019 to stop the search at Zorro Ranch or rejecting Annie Farmer, a teenager who made a report about being solicited for sex by a guy named Jeffrey Epstein, which was completely ignored by the Miami field office of the FBI and otherwise. Why aren't we compensating the victims? So when I hear that New Mexico found a way to put aside partisan rancor, join together, and under the leadership of its attorney general, come up with a way to chronicle and document.
Every state should be following suit right now, because states can reward themselves. They don't need the federal government or Congress to approve it. State legislatures can do this themselves. And if a crime was committed in your in your city, in your state, in your town, it's part of your responsibility to rectify it, right? And it's not just criminally, it's also civilly too. You see what I mean? So, if the federal government doesn't want to do anything, fuck them then. Fuck their ass. Don't wait on lazy ass beggars from the federal government. Can I get another $1 from you, taxpayer? Please, give me your money. I need some crack to smoke today, please. My name is Donald Trump, and I can't live without your tax dollars. Elon Musk. Yeah. I need some right now. Give me your tax dollars. These motherfuckers. Do you have $1? Hello, you got $1? Can I get a change? I mean, it's like fucking federal government wants everybody's money, but they don't want to do anything for people with it in the country. It's like, so states, move ahead, states, move ahead, make society right, correct wrongs in society, it is your responsibility if the federal government fails. It's your responsibility. It lies on no one else. If the federal government goes defunct, all you have, look, if the federal government just stops existing, all you have left is state government. So let's get to it.
The child sex trafficking ring. Shouldn't we all celebrate that? See, that's the one thing that cuts across party lines. America doesn't like a child sex trafficker.
Yeah, they didn't used to. I'm not too sure about it now, but now America elects their fucking asses, and yeah, that's what they say. That's what Sasha Riley says. America's elected sex traffickers and adult rapists.
We have a major new development out of the New Mexico Truth Commission investigating Epstein and what he and perhaps other co-conspirators did on Zorro Ranch for 26 years. That's how long Jeffrey Epstein owned the property in New Mexico. And this is the first time a real investigation has been opened into Epstein's sex trafficking. My name is Dina Dahl with the Midas Touch Network. Let's get into this. Now, as we know, there's actually multiple investigations now into Jeffrey Epstein's ranch and what exactly happened there. A big development just occurred with the Truth Commission. The Truth Commission was created by the New Mexico legislature, and its purpose is to be an investigative commission in order to really uncover the truth of what happened on that ranch. For 26 years, he owned that property, and it was never investigated, the conduct that he did there. In fact, one of the state representatives on the Truth Commission said that after Epstein's death, New Mexico had opened up an investigation around that time, and they had thought about securing the ranch upon his death and were both basically told by the federal DOJ to stand down. This is why the ranch was never secured. The first time the ranch was searched was this March. It was searched by the New Mexico law enforcement, who is opening up its own criminal investigation into what happened there. Of course, this is many years later, and the property was sold in 2023. Whether or not they are finding something or not, we have not heard the results of that. It's a 7,500 acre property. But in the meantime, this Truth Commission heard testimony from Virginia Giuffre's family about what she had told law enforcement in the many interviews she gave during the many probes that basically went nowhere with Epstein, about how she was trafficked and abused in that Zorro Ranch. And so that testimony, in addition to, of course, what has been uncovered with what has been released in the Epstein files, which named Zorro Ranch and New Mexico and really prompted the creation of this Truth Commission, they have issued 14 subpoenas. They've issued 14 subpoenas, and these subpoenas will be going to a variety of departments. If they're sending it to the FBI, the Department of Justice, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of New Mexico, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, the Federal Aviation Administration, Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan Chase, the New Mexico Department of Public Safety, the New Mexico Department of Justice, the Officer of the Governor of New Mexico, the New Mexico State Land Commissioner, the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department, and the Santa Fe Institute. That last one is a nonprofit there that evidently, according to the newly released Epstein files.
Fence 1684. How many Cash App videos you got on your website, on your YouTube page, man? Come on now. What the fuck? Cash App, you like the federal government. Please give me your money. Can I have some money today? He says black people will vote Republican midterm election 2028. Yeah, as long as you like whipping your own ass, go for it, bro. I'm not trying to stop you. I have health care. I'm not voting, by the way, Republican, and I have health care. So, African American, Black American, Washington, D.C., born and raised in Washington, D.C., born in Freedman's Hospital. But as a grown ass man, I live abroad, and abroad outside of the U.S., everybody has universal health care. If you're not advocating for that, you're just dumb. Okay. If you prioritize other things over universal education and health care, you're dumb. So go for it. I'm not saying there ain't no black people that are dumb like you. Yeah, there are some. So, but to say black people Yeah, 20% voted for Trump last time. And they getting their ass whipped by Trump right now. Hurrah! Yay! Mission accomplished.
Epstein had donated something like 680,000, but they only showed records of like 280,000. And then he also had associates that were part of that institute. So they are really trying to get to the bottom of this. They're also asking for survivors to come out and talk. And really, the Truth Commission has put together a website that is so disturbing. I mean, everything about the Epstein files and the fact that Epstein has gotten away with so much, his co-conspirators.
All right, so folks have heard there's really people being subpoenaed. That's a long list of names she gave. Those are people, and these are well off and good and movers and shakers in New Mexico. There's more. So I didn't take down a list, but this is a lot of people. Over 20 people subpoenaed, ranking of officials at that time. So they're all going to be asked questions about this. And I'm just curious about the severity of lying and things like that when they're called to testify, right? It's going to be very interesting to see how that turns out. But Michael, you know anything about that? Like on a state level, can the state, can they actually hold people in contempt and things like that? Are they made?
Well,
yeah.
It depends on, because like obviously the Fed supersedes the state, right? They would have to essentially be charging them on a state level, but I would think that this is federal, right? Because it's not exclusive to New Mexico, and essentially they'll try to supersede it, right? They'll try to take over that investigation.
Oh, you mean that's federal? That's not New Mexico?
No, because what it is it's New Mexico on the state level.
Okay, I got it. All right.
And so on the federal level, they told them, hey, drop this case because we don't want it to interfere with our federal case.
Okay.
They could still continue, right? I would assume that they can, right? To how successful they'll be. I mean, essentially they'd be fighting the state government. I mean, the federal government. They'll be fighting the federal government, which that would be interesting to see how it plays out, right?
It is. It says here, bro.
That'd be very interesting.
It says here that actually two separate tracks issuing subpoenas regarding Zorro Rancho right now. Attorney General Raul Torres criminal investigation and the newly formed legislative New Mexico's Survivor Truth Commission. Depending on who is asking the question and where the lie happens, this is about if they lie, right? Several distinct New Mexico state laws apply. Perjury under oath. If a witness is subpoenaed to give a formal deposition or testify before the state grand jury or legislative committee, they are placed under oath. The law in so either one, it doesn't matter if it's this committee or if it's a grand jury, right? Under New York Mexico statutes 30-25-1, perjury consists of making false statements under oath on a material matter, knowing that statement to be untrue. The penalty: the New Mexico perjury is classified as a 4th-degree felony. Damn. If convicted, an individual faces up to 18 months in state prison, significant financial fines per count. This is another one. Obstruction. Making false report, obstructing justice. If a witness is subpoenaed to sit for an interview with state prosecutors or special agents from New Mexico's Department of Justice, lying to them, even if not actively sitting in a courtroom under oath, carries a criminal liability. Law under 30-22-1, resisting, evading, or obstructing the officer, and related statutes covering tampering with evidence or harboring a criminal intentionally deceiving investigators to derail a probe is a crime. The penalty, depending on the severity, whether it involves actively altering physical evidence, this can range from a misdemeanor to a 3rd or 4th degree felony. Contempt. Damn, there's more. Contempt, refusing to comply. It is worth noting that lying isn't the only risk. If a person or an entity such as the 14 agencies and banks recently subpoenaed by the Truth Commission, including the FBI and Deutsche Bank, refuses to hand over documents or show up at all, they can be charged with contempt. A judge can issue a bench warrant for their arrest or levy massive daily fines until they comply. So that could be done on a state level, bro. Tactical.
I mean, it can. It'll see how, because New Mexico is a blue state, right? New Mexico is a blue state,
yeah.
Right? It's one of the oddballs out there in that area that just so happens to be a blue state.
Yeah.
How would they combat or hinder that investigation, right? Like I would like, because they're definitely going to try to hinder it, right? They're going to try to hinder whatever that investigation tells. Would they essentially? I mean, I don't necessarily know how they would hinder it, but I'm almost sure that they would, right? Like they're going to try to. If they told them to stop investigating, that was for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what pressure they put on politically, because that would be the only other way, right?
Yeah, yeah.
To have some sort of political pressure to see how can they stop the investigation, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they can.
Trump can't pardon them. Trump can't pardon them.
No, he can't. State level.
Yeah. Ooh, ha ha ha, Trump. Yeah, guess what? States are going to move forward, and Trump ain't going to be the president, and he still can't pardon them anyway. Guess what, rats? You going down. Look, it's noted. Somebody's in the chat talking about men in women's bathrooms. We don't want that no more. Okay, but what about the men with dicks on Epstein Island? What you want about that? I mean, you know what I'm saying? And on top of it, I myself, heterosexual man, that's how I am. That's how I came out. I came out that way, and I've been enjoying it ever since. But I have been in the ladies' bathroom before, just taking a piss. There was a choice. I didn't want to wait. Went in the ladies' bathroom, took a piss, left out. Nobody said nothing about me. I mean, what the fuck? What is this? They only mad.
That's a Republican framing, right? That's a Republican framing when they say I don't want men in women's bathrooms. Essentially, most, if not all, I don't want to speak exclusively for all the states, but they have a genderless bathroom, which means everyone uses the same bathroom. There's one toilet in there. You use that one bathroom.
Yep.
There is no essentially mixing, right? This just goes back to these conservative talking points.
Yeah, you're right, man. And I've also been in those genderless bathrooms too, and they're very clean. I went to the ladies' bathroom because I'm like, man, these men are disgusting, bro. They don't clean up. These motherfucking men piss all over the place, man. At least the women know how to keep the shit clean, bro. Like, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? What you think? I'm going to, like, come on, man. I'm going for the cleanest toilet I can find. And I don't give a fuck what it says, as long as it doesn't say only for kids. Okay. But if it says men or women, hey, I'm going for the clean one. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I have rights too. And shit. You're not going to get me all caught in the gray area of your fight. This shit is crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, but somebody in the chat he's not worried about. Somebody in the chat's not worried about their health care. They worried about what men gonna go in the ladies' bathroom, man. I don't want nobody with a dick in the ladies' bathroom. It's like, okay, can't shut them up for a week, can you? No, they just got to keep showing the stupidity. Donald Trump out there, Elon Musk loving it too. They love stupid people. Anyway, who wants to give more tax money? Who wants to pay taxes to the federal government right now? Put a 1 in the chat if you want to. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. I fucking don't want to. Fuck the federal government. Put a 1 in the chat if you don't want to pay federal taxes anymore. Put a 2 in the chat if you want to continue. I don't. Fuck them. Okay? I don't trust. I have no use for the U.S. military. I got no use for the CIA anymore. FBI. I got no use for ICE. No use for motherfucking National Guard. I got no use for none of them anymore. Okay? Forget it. I only need health care and education. Fuck them. And if they ain't gonna help me with healthcare and education, fuck them. I don't want them getting no more of my money. Fuck the president. Fuck the vice president. Fuck the goddamn Donald. Who else? Who did I miss a name? Kash Patel. Fuck him. Todd Blanche. Fuck
Attorney
him.
General. Blanche,
You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are worthless. They're not even protecting me anymore. The military's not even protecting us anymore. Yeah. Any case, yeah. Move to Canada, y'all. Move to Mexico, Canada. Americans, my advice to you is, look, if you can't move somewhere else, Europe, Africa, Move to America. America's a beautiful place. Move to the north, move to the south. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Be American. Enjoy some American love. You know what I'm saying? Eat some American food. Listen to some American music. Pan-American music. It's beautiful. You know what I mean? The avocados in Colombia are like the size of a fucking football for like, $2. Come on, enjoy yourself. America's a great place. Except the United States. All right, now let's go. It is, man. You know what I'm saying? A little bit goes a long way in every other country in America. It's like, what the fuck? In the U.S., a lot gets you nothing. It's like, what the fuck, man? All right, let's continue here. Let me see. What time is it, man? 2:24. Let me play a little more of this.
Way so much. The fact that Ghislaine Maxwell is being sent to Cushy jail is disturbing. But the amount of what happened in New Mexico and the fact that it was never investigated, the Truth Commission's own website going through the timeline. It's interesting because he bought that land in 1993, actually from the former governor, Governor Bruce King. Not to say that the former governor knew what Epstein was doing, but just to show how connected he was even back then, purchasing this land from the former governor.
So there you have it. People kind of know, I think, the rest of it, but I think it's very interesting that they're subpoenaing all these people. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I say accountability is a must, and also compensating the victims on the state level. Wonderful thing. New Mexico, you got it going on. You're very progressive. Thank you for at least caring about the victims. You know what I mean? This is a low bar for the United States. A low bar is not even the right term, man. This is disgraceful. Our federal government is a disgrace. They are a walking fucking just disgrace. You know what I mean? Like, really, just a total fucking disgrace. And I can't say much about that anymore because that would be you could never say enough. You will never be able to say enough. I mean, I'm waiting for the first federal government employee to just come and ask me one thing so I can just stop and be like, out of shock, and just be like, look at this motherfucker up and down and be like, did you just say something to me? What the fuck? Don't you ever fucking address it. Are you talking to me? God damn. Like, you have no principles in anything. And you talking to me? Like, whoa. God damn, man. Like, these people are low. They are low.
Fears are growing over the reemergence of a flesh-eating parasite in the United States that could threaten the nation's beef supply. It's
Donald Trump's cousin is on the loose.
It's called the New World Screwworm. Texas just confirmed its second case, and the state says it is racing to contain the spread. This potential outbreak comes at a moment when U.S. cattle herds have already shrunk to their lowest levels since the 1950s. Beef prices are up about 15% from last year, and farmers are struggling with rising costs. Just yesterday, Trump flew to Wisconsin to sell his economic message as prices for fertilizer, fuel, and feed are going through the roof. It was the same day of a, frankly, strong jobs report showing 172,000 jobs created in May. And here is what he told his audience.
I don't need this. I got elected. I don't have. What the hell do I have to be here for? I got elected. I'm here because I like the farmer. I mean, when you think about it, I guess there's a lot of truth to that, right? I could be home right now in the beautiful White House watching somebody else on television talking.
Joining us now to discuss is Willis Shun Nelson, a fourth-generation farmer in Louisiana. So thank you so much. It's delightful to have you here at the table with us. You just heard the president talk about how he loves farmers. He's been great for farmers. I've been kind of keeping a running list of what I think of as kind of the war on farmers in some sense. I don't blame him for the screwworm outbreak per se, but you have tariffs driving up costs. You have the war in Iran driving up costs for things like fertilizer and diesel. I'm sure that affects you in many parts of the country. The labor force is not showing up. Workers are not showing up because they're worried about immigration raids and things like that. I'm curious what the last year has been like for you, and do you feel supported by your government?
The last year has been very tough for my farm, me and my brothers. Prices on input prices keep going up. We've been told a lot of promises.
Now, there was somebody in the chat, I have to say this, that was talking about black people going to vote for Trump this time even more. Oh, really? Oh, really? Why? Because you hate this black man right here with a farm? You want to put him and his family out of business? You goddamn. One thing I really just bothers me is black people that are fucking anti-black and think that they're being positive about it. Like they're driving their own. If you're black American, if you're African American and you voted for Trump, you're killing your own fucking people. And you take pleasure in that? What's wrong with you? You so fucked up in the head now that you just want to victimize people. You think that's what powerful is, to victimize yourself? Like the only thing that's going to make the oppressor victimizing you any better is for you to become the oppressor of yourself, of your own people. You the mother to you now, instead of be the dude on the plantation, now you want to be the one on the plantation with the whipping the other black person. Say your name, nigga. Say your name right, nigga. Man, I swear, bro, this is like somebody came in this chat today. Like, okay, all right.
Promise hasn't been delivered on. We look for fertilizer prices to come down fast, and hopefully, but it's too late. We did our planting season, and we pretty much in.
You don't even need Donald Trump with some of these motherfuckers out here. I swear, man, because they're gonna be out here trying to kill you. You know, like really justifying Donald Trump. You out here, you ain't got no better job than to justify a motherfucker that fucking despises you. If not because of your, I mean, how many ways can Donald Trump despise an African American? How many ways? That should be a poem. You know what I'm saying? Let me count the ways. You know what I'm saying? You are killing your own people. Yeah, it bothers me, man. It bothers me. You know, like that one just like I almost have it enrages me almost more because you expect some other people to be ignorant about some other people's experience, but your own fucking people. Look. Can't make an honest living anymore. Can't make an honest living.
Our fertilizing the crop that we have in the ground. So we done already took a hit on that. For fuel prices is still high, very high. I think it's pretty much double from the last time we bought a tanker load. So it's cutting our expenses way higher and bringing our profit margin even lower.
You talked about and used the word promises. What were some of the promises that you as a farmer, it's not to ask you about who you voted for, but Donald Trump made a lot of promises, and I'm wondering whether or not you felt he has kept his promises to fight for American farmers or take care of American farmers, or if not him specifically, what do you feel are the promises that have not been kept for you?
Fair trade for our crops, getting a fair price on what we grow and sell. That's the main thing. You know, if we could just get a fair price on
what's up,
what
George?
we're growing and what we sell it for, we as farmers could be able to stand on our own. That's the main thing we can have.
So how much, if you had to estimate, how much money do you lose on, say, your soybean crop because of the different tariffs that have been put in place?
It's already a short margin in it, so I would say we already with the tariffs.
Edward, what's up?
Another 30%. You know, that's a lot.
That is a.
Yeah. So with the tariffs, I mean, you know, again, you know, this is what we have to look at. I mean, listen, I had a lot of not many, thank God, not too many, but I did have a lot of African Americans on my program just before this election. And they made other alternative arguments. And unfortunately, they didn't think about this guy. So
a short margin in it. So I would say we already, with the tariffs, it probably brought it down another 30%. You know, that's a lot.
That is a lot. Big hit. When you think about your community and a rural community and you have to drive a long way to get anywhere, I'm from a place like that where getting to the airport can take an hour, 2 hours. What has really impacted the men and women who live in your area the most with the economy?
The prices of the food, that's just a big thing, especially in rural America. You have a lot of poor people out there. And just to get a decent meal costs a lot, it's cheaper now for us to go get fast food than it is to eat our own food.
Thank you to this brother. This is a stand-up man who just said something just straight to the heart. He said there's a lot of starving people, hungry people in rural America. I don't understand why anybody in rural America would vote for Trump. I don't understand it. But this man is speaking facts. He didn't say black people suffering. He didn't say white people suffering. He said poor people. Listen to this. A lot of people struggling in rural. He said rural Americans. Listen to this. I mean, I'm so happy that they have this brother up on here because there's so many people that are doing his image shame. Doing the image of the African American, an African American farmer, an African American in rural countries. There's so many Americans right now, other black people that are doing his image shame. And shame on you for doing that. You should care more about people. Just because Donald Trump doesn't mean you shouldn't.
Tariffs that have been put in place.
It's already a short margin in it, so I would say we already with the tariffs, it probably brought it down another 30%. That's a lot.
That is a lot. Big hit. When you think about your community and a rural community and you have to drive a long way to get anywhere, I'm from a place like that where getting to the airport can take an hour, 2 hours. What has really impacted the men and women who live in your area the most with the economy?
The prices of the food, that's just a big thing, especially in rural America. You have a lot of poor people out there. And just to get a decent meal costs a lot, it's cheaper now for us to go get fast food than it is to eat our own food, to get it out the grocery store.
And the fast food is poison. It's poison.
Fuel prices. If you're driving 15, 20 miles to go to work, it's like, I think up here you probably commute a mile, but at home you're going to do 15, 20 miles just to get to a decent job.
And you know what? And when it's time to vote, you're going to have that voting tax because you're going to have to drive. When it's time to get that new ID, you're going to have that voting tax because you're going to have to drive and use that gas money. You know what I'm saying? To get that new birth certificate. Because Donald Trump says American citizens are committing fraud. Those Dems, those liberals, you know what I mean? And, it's terrible. Let me see here. Edward, you crazy, bro. I'm not sure about that one. But listen, maybe you never know. Things can turn around. But listen, this right here, I'm so happy. Talk about representation. When there is no representation of yourself, the honest ones, the ones that really exist, when there's poor representation in legacy media of a specific ethnic group, others will get online and they will fuck the whole image up. They will fuck it all up. They will make you think people like him are out there loving what Donald Trump is doing. That's what it will do. That's what social media does a lot. And if it's not for people like this guy's underrepresented. He's underrepresented. You see what I mean? And I'm just so happy that he's here. This guy is an African American. He's a black American. He's what they would call FBA, foundational black, if you believe in that, foundational black American. Except he's not giving that Tariq Nasheed motherfucking explanation of the United States of America. He's saying something else. Okay. And Tariq Nasheed, this is who you help to hurt people like this, man. This is what all your little handout, Cash App, YouTubing has done. That's what it's done, man. And of course, you're a peon. So you shouldn't take the main blame because you have a Master Trump, and the white man, the billionaire white man, controls you, okay? You bitch. Just like the rest of you, man. This is who you hurt. I'm only saying it like that because this is what they say. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This is what they say. Yeah. This is what you did. This is what your bootlicking did. You goddamn Tariq Nasheed. This is what your bootlicking did. Okay? It killed your own goddamn people. Okay? Stop being a Trump turd. Okay? Tariq Nasheed and the rest of you FBA. This is what you did. Okay? You didn't care about the data. Man. I'm about to be out, Mike. What you got to say about this? This is beautiful. This brother came up here and spoke. What you got to say about this, man?
No, I mean, you're 100% correct, right? I think when that loud minority group that represents black people, or as we want to refer to them, the foundational blacks of America, they are speaking from a point of non-privilege, but still disenfranchise themselves and people who look like them with right-wing rhetoric, right? That pick-me mentality, that pick-me attitude that doesn't serve the community, their community, and people who look like them, their family members, right? They disproportionately suffer. When we look at even a minority group within a minority, because this man who is on this platform is a minority within the farming community, right? You have a handful of black farmers, right? And you can imagine how hard it is for him being black in a majority white industry and still having to face the struggles of the same impoverished and disenfranchised farmers that directly were impacted by this administration putting into policies. When we speak about things like the cutting of SNAP and less recipients of SNAP, people don't understand that, yes, the people from SNAP who receive SNAP or supplemental income or food assistance program, they directly spend that money with supermarkets on things like produce that directly help farmers, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think it's for every 60 cents spent, there's 40 cents that essentially goes directly back to things like farmers, right? Or the direct producers of these products.
Yeah.
So it stimulates the economy, right? It stimulates the economy by incentivizing people like this farmer to continue to produce the produce that he produces and sells it at an affordable rate because he's seeing immediate return. When we speak about something like produce or farming, these are perishable goods. This isn't something you're just going to put in a can and keep on a shelf. It has a timeline. They have a timeline on what they can grow and what season they can grow it in. There's so much more nuance, right? And when you have things like tariffs, when you have things like the cuts to social programs like SNAP, people just see it in one way and not the nuanced way that the individuals who are on supplemental nutritional income, they have to spend that money, and it directly correlates with farms, right? Directly the agriculture of America. We're hurting our literal infrastructure when it comes to farming by cuts like the big beautiful bill that made cuts to not only supplemental nutrition but the tariffs on top of that. So not only are they facing, one front, they're facing multiple fronts, and they run on such thin margins that a bad 4 years could put them in so much debt that they never recover from. Right? And with the overrepresented market that, is predominantly white, who do you think suffers the most? They, would be people like this gentleman who are already a minority and then end up bankrupt and leaving the farming industry. Right?
Yeah, because they're at the bottom, And here's the thing: what I find interesting here, and the maggots, the black MAGA is really gonna hate this. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some recovering FBAs might be able to understand me. I don't know, but in any case, the facts of it is that under Biden and under Kamala Harris, the House of Representatives passed a minority farming bill. Why? Because minority farmers said they were being discriminated against by the federal government. Minority farmers, and the black ones included, said that when the federal government gives out farming subsidies and farming grants and farms, all these things for farmers, that once the money comes down to the state level, the states are discriminating against minority farmers and not giving them their due share, which they pay in taxes. Right. So they did some studies. The Congress did studies. Congress found out it was true what the minority farmers were saying. The Senate saw those studies and said it's true what the minority farmers were saying. Right. Then they all passed the bill to compensate the minority farmers for the money that they had been robbed of. Right. That they pay in taxes. They were cut out from any benefits. OK. Then the president signed the bill. Biden did. Then the Republicans went in the Supreme Court and got 6 Supreme Court justices to say, no, you cannot compensate the minority farmers. That's racist. That all happened just under the last administration. And this
reframing equality as racism is the common term in this administration.
And so a lot of MAGA, a lot of black FBAs and MAGA supporters didn't even know the Supreme Court had done that. Okay, first of all. Secondly, here's the thing. So let's say you were mad at Biden. You think Biden didn't do enough. Okay, fair enough. He's the president. I don't give a fuck who you mad at. A president is a political figure. You can be mad and you can criticize them. That's part of the job. They accept it 100%. Only a bitch ass politician doesn't accept criticism, even harsh criticism. What the fuck is this? They're adults. and they work off your money. So they're supposed to be able to accept any criticism. They're supposed to accept it standing up right in your face and saying, sir, I will think about that. Thank you for your time. That's how a politician is supposed to accept your criticism, whether you're right or wrong. Now, but let's say you were frustrated by Biden and say Biden didn't do enough. And then you went and you voted for Trump. Well, you had Trump and listen to this black farmer. Listen to him. He's one that didn't get the subsidies because the Republicans stopped it in the Supreme Court. So let's hear what he got to say under Trump. This is what he has to say under Trump. And notice one thing. I liked what he said. He said rural Americans. That means more than just black folk. But listen.
You think about your community and a rural community, and you have to drive a long way to get anywhere. I'm from a place like that where getting to the airport can take an hour, 2 hours. What has really impacted the men and women who live in your area the most with the economy?
The prices of the food. That's just a big thing, especially in rural America. You have a lot of poor people out there, and just to get a decent meal costs a lot. It's cheaper now for us to go get fast food than it is to eat our own food. For to get it out the grocery store. Fuel prices. If you're driving 15, 20 miles to go to work, it's like, I think up here you probably commute a mile, but at home you're gonna do 15, 20 miles just to get to a decent job. That take a big hit on your family.
As this war drags on, there seems to still be really no end in sight.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that in the chat. I got to be out for the moment, but I think it's good to close out on this one. I'm really happy to see this brother get some representation. I'm happy to see that. His words count. And notice, he didn't just say it's about black America. He said it's rural Americans. I'm not saying there's not a case to argue about racism. There is cases to do that. And of course, you can do that and you got to contextualize it when you do that. But what I like about this brother is that he also cares about other people too, not just their color. You can be just like him in rural America and have a different color. That's what I like about that. You know what I mean? He's showing heart. You see what I mean? Love for his country and love for his countrymen and women and children. You see what I mean?
Patriotism.
Exactly.
True patriotism.
Exactly. It's true patriotism, bro. I really love to see that. So I just put that in the chat. You can watch it further and analyze it. Big up to you, Michael. I appreciate you showing up, bro. I got to go and make some breakfast now. You know, it's brunch time, so I got to get busy.
Enjoy your day.
Yeah, I'll be back with everybody. I'll be back with everybody soon later on today, but I appreciate you for coming up and giving your expert information and knowledge, bro. Thank you so much. It was on point. 100% on
Always.
point.
I'm a fan first.
Nah, brother. We in this one. We in the fight, comrades. We in this fight, comrades. You know, and yeah, I'm a fan of yours, but we're comrades, and so you know what I mean.
That's
so
fair.
I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate it definitely. For your insights and your time. You know what I mean? Because it's valuable time, bro. It's valuable time, and believe it or not, everybody say thank you to Michael for Brooklyn, because you ain't gonna get this kind of contribution anywhere. You see what I mean? But I do want to pat myself on the back for being open to real other contributions from others, man. Thank you, V. You did a good job, bro.
V. Thank you. You know,
I pat myself on the back.
You know, it's the way you host. It's the way you break things down. It's the way you are able to speak to issues just in a real manner, right? It's articulated enough, but you're real enough to be able to get the real message across and have pretty much a no holds bar while calling out the hypocrisy and the injustice of a country that you still care about, right? A country that you were birthed in, a country that you still come from, and you care about enough to call it out. Otherwise, we would be grifters, right? We would be grifting where the money is at, where the financial stability is, and that's currently at the right and on the right now, right? So to be on the left isn't popular, to contrary belief. And, you do it because you know the truth and you want to spread awareness and the truth. And that's why I also follow you and contribute on my own, right?
Yeah, bro. And save our country. Save our goddamn country, bro. It's just good. It needs the saving right now. So I appreciate you, bro. On that note, everybody, I'll be back with y'all in a little bit. I don't know exactly what time the next stream is, but it'll be there. As always, release the Epstein files. Fuck Trump. Everybody associated with him, get the fuck out of America. We are tired of your ass. It's our turn now. We want to survive. You ain't gonna get rid of us. Let's go.
Check it. We got what you need. You want it. We know what you want. We got it. We know what you feel. You want it. We got what you want. You can have it. We got what you need. You want it. We know what you want. We got it. We know what you feel. You want it. We got what you want. You can have it. Orientation in this place we call Earth. Love from conception, from your mom, your birth. Pops planted the seed in the turf. From there, you must find out what life is worth. Grew up learning your do's and don'ts. Before working on your motor skills, working on your coordination, right? And orientation to what you like. The brand new thing, so gentle the soul we're capturing. In this distance, the alphabets the kids sing. They celebrate when it's time to go outside. As you get older, you learn to let all the troubles in your life just glide away. Stay focused, keep it smooth, keep you cool. Things in life can make it get rude. If you let it, don't let it. 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 If you let it, let it. Let it what? If you let it, don't let it. Let it. If you let it, what? Don't let it. If you let it, don't let it. Let it. Don't let it. We got what you need. You want it. We know what you want. We got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We embark on this journey to your soul. We wanna have a good good time when we embark on this journey. Your soul, you'll have a good time. We do something that you know you can't deny. We're just slipping in and out on a journey, you and I, on a mission to salvation. Our spirit be our transportation. We think you're due a little love, and that is true. For real, we bring something that you know you can't deny. We're just slipping in and out on a journey, you and I. Bring it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want. Inherited from our harshest past and better than our society's identity. But then again, can you tell me that's free? They explain to you what your mind should perceive, suggest things they want you to believe, like your skin color dictates your race. They're calling you an idiot to your face, like life is much more simple than that. We're all slaves and the cards are stacked, while we fight over problems we can fix. Industrialists turn our kids to addicts. The television does a job, introduce you. The radio's right there to seduce you, keep you locked on the wrong damn track. Cigarettes is just legalized crack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. What? Stop believing in the flag, it's a trap. Cause men rule this world, that's a fact. They don't know, but I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie, but I'm gonna say it like I know. They don't know, that I'm gonna hit them with this shit. They don't lie, that you're gonna free your mind tonight. 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 If you see a man that needs help, then help a brother. If you see a sister on her own, still love her. Cause life is about how you choose to see it. But you gotta teach people how to learn to see it. The planet's been through suffering many times. We propagate many wars many times. The people need to wake up and stop accepting deceit from their own government's deception. You can't blame the people for needing protection from the government's bad reputation. We need to sing a song called Free the Nation. Cause we done had a whole lot of separation. Racism, classism, nationalism, based on keeping people out on the plantation. That's the plan, no doubt. Cause rich people got a plan, no doubt. If you still don't understand and believe that we are all one from the same mother, and respect each woman and man with the same consideration you would like to be given on a daily, then you need to retire so the new generation can take over and show you how to live and govern this place we call Earth home. Everybody here, yeah. They don't know, kid. They don't know. But I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie. But I'm gonna say it like I know. They don't know. That I'm gonna hit them with this shit. They don't lie.
nothing can save ya, cause this is the season of funky behavior. I came to relax your mind, you can recline. On what? On this here rhyme. I like the style, I'm staying for a while. It helps me show cats that I'm versatile. I'll touch your dial, turn your frown to a smile. I'll make you feel like you're having a child. So relax and open up, child. I'm about to make you walk what? Pimp style. Oh, pimped out style, you don't understand the logic. See, if you don't have it all, I'll take a deposit. I got shit for you, it's alright indeed. It's like going to the garden and planting the seed. It might tickle for a second, but it won't bleed.
So just relax, just hear a dope ride. I'm just real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax, and just hear a dope ride. I'm just real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat.
Your entertainment, at the same time edutainment. In other words, you could call it bent. What I'm saying is that I'm here at your service. It's hard work, but then again, I deserve this. I'm helping people enjoy their spare time. I'm like an instructor when I'm doing my rhyme. Relax and just hear the dope track. It's really not all that, it's not like a gag. We like that when everything is relaxed and chill. You don't have to get fucked up or take pills, cause I like being myself, it feels good. Yo, it makes my meals taste good. 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 So just relax.
It's your dope ride. I'm just real nice, everything is real bad. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and hear a dope ride. I'm just real nice, everything is real bad. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax.
My mind state, now balloon, it won't inflate. Just take the buzz, this much wiser kid, fuck the shade. And take it to a lower level, and dig a ditch for a devil. Got some more kids and pass the shovel. Dig a hole, take them on a spiritual roll. Lyrics unfold, either that or unroll the scroll. Episodes keep reoccurring and stifling. People's vision get blurring, their hearts start murmuring. I'm about 5 times iller than a Sherman. Introspection is God's gift to the miracle. I freak material, lamb's milk without the cereal. When MCs say your booty, they mean venereal. Your fake material hip-hop killers, they more faking than fucking Michael Jackson and Thriller. The status of a hoe, Quanto Costa. They wanna know how much it costs, kid, I bet for keep to me
just relax and just hear a dope ride. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and just hear a dope ride. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax.
To all the ghettos around the world. And yes, you know the struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. But we know it's been so long. Pain without a limit, so wrong. When am I walking? Sometimes I think about, does love still exist? Yeah, I have my doubts. On the street, I check out how brothers be living. Yo, let's just say, kid, it ain't no Thanksgiving. We got people shooting dope, ain't never heard of hope. We got others with the gat and the brothers with the fucking scope. As I enter the projects, enter rec rooms, some brothers might see the doom. I see my man Paulo, fat pockets of papes. He knows the neighborhood biddies with all the dopest shapes. There goes Rollo with the blowout fro. He's got a gat Hey yo, brothers gots to go. No show is live when there ain't fuck Memorex. My man Rollo's gotta get Apollo's chest. One slug blasted out, down boy died. Now show me some love, kid. It sounds like a fucking
yes, you
lie.
know the struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. But we know it's been so long. Pain without a limit, so wrong.
Sometimes I think how the world come to this, a place where every man and woman needs a therapist. Mass confusion, people living in delusion, justify all the bullshit through the Constitution. Meanwhile, the masses struggle to survive. I think we're too busy to hear our people's cries. Singles mothers struggle to raise families. Genocide committed through famine and disease. I wonder if these things will ever cease to exist. I know it could if we cease and desist. Giving all the power to the industrialists, giving all our power to the damn commercialists that see us just as being sheep in this world, that want us to do what we're told like boys and girls. Oh God, I wanna live another day so I can help provide equality
And
this
yes, you know
day.
the struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. Though we know it's been so long. Pain without a limit, so wrong.
Everybody round the globe, open up your earlobe, your third eye, and then decipher the code. Through knowledge, understanding, then bring love into the concept instead of bling bling. Truth instead of bias, educational methods. Twisting, contorting God's message of love for every human being. Listen, motherfucker, don't you hear the screams? It's time to do much more than talk, debate, and spread hate. We need to think and at the same time investigate. Understand what our actions may create. Before continuing the cycle we procreate. We can clone humans, but at the same time we can't feed humans. The future of man is actually looming. It's really depressing, it's true,
And yes, you
man.
know the struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. Though we know it's been so long. Pain without a limit, so wrong. Yes, you know the struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. Though we know it's been so long. Pain without a limit, so wrong.
Sometimes I think about, does love still exist? Yeah, I have my doubts. On the street, I check out how brothers be living. Yo, let's just say, kid, it ain't no Thanksgiving. We got people shooting dope, ain't never heard of hope. We got others with the gat and the brothers with the fucking scope. As I enter the project center rec rooms, some brothers might see the doom. I see my nigga Paulo, fat pockets of papes. He knows the neighborhood biddies with all the dopest shapes. There goes Rollo with the blowout fro. He's got a gap, hey yo niggas gots to go. No show is live when there ain't fuck Memorex. My nigga Rollo's got a gat at Paulo's chest. One slug blasted out, down boy died. Now show me some love, kid, it sounds like a
And
fucking
yes, you know
lie.
the struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. But we know it's been so long. Pain without a limit, so wrong.
Sometimes I think how the world come to this, a place where every man and woman needs a therapist. Mass confusion, people living in delusion, justify all the bullshit through the Constitution. Meanwhile, the masses struggle to survive. I think we're too busy to hear our people's cries. Singles mothers struggle to raise families. Genocide committed through famine and disease. I wonder if these things will ever cease to exist. I know it could if we cease and desist. Giving all the power to the industrialists, giving all our power to the damn commercialists that see us just as being sheep in this this world that want us to do what we're told, like boys and girls. Oh God, I wanna live another day so I can help provide equality
And
this
yes,
day.
the struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. Though we know it's been so long, pain without a limit, so wrong.
Everybody around the globe, open up your earlobe, your third eye, and then decipher the code. Through knowledge, understanding, then bring love into the concept instead of bling bling. Truth instead of biased educational methods. Twisting, contorting God's message of love for every human being. Listen, motherfucker, don't you hear the screams? It's time to do much more than talk, debate, and spread hate. We need to think and at the same time investigate. Understand what our actions may create. Before continuing the cycle we procreate. We can clone humans, but at the same time we can't feed humans. The future of man is actually looming. It's really depressing, it's true.
And yes, the struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. Though we know it's been so long, pain without a limit, so wrong.
Wrote this one cause I love you and I want you to love me too, girl.
I just want to love. Just love the way you love. Love the way I love.
I love you.
I just want to love. Just love the way you love. I love the way I love you.
You my TRL, I'm looking at you. The look in my eye, you can tell that I wanna know you, better yet show you that I treat you right, this I owe ya. The feelings I feel are not obscene. It's no secret I'll go in public and scream. I'll LOV you, my baby girl. The feeling's so true, we can make our own world. We were made for each other, I feel like you love. We had a child, we be father and mother. There ain't no other I'd rather spend my time with. This love can endure anything that splits. If it wasn't legit, you wouldn't hear it. I could never be confused by your spirit. We just take it still or roll because we both know what we do. I'm in LOV with you.
I just want to love.
Baby girl,
love the way you love.
Love me.
Love the way I love.
I love you.
I just want to.
Hey.
I want to love.
Oh,
love the way you love.
Love me.
Love the way I love you.
I love you, girl.
Just relax.
Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Hold your hand when we in town. Protect this love, even in the underground. Joy to God needing brunch on a blanket. This God that granted us these days, I thank it. It's no wonder why I'm comfortable with you. It's all the simple things for me that you do. When you rub my back, it's feeling so nice. Much more than reunion and ice. It's about the kindness I can see in your face, and the way it's at the right time and place. No other woman I'd rather spend my time with. This love is so fresh I can taste.
I just want to love. Love the way you love the way I love. I love you. I just want to love the way you love. It's about you. Love the way I love you. I love you. Just relax, 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 just relax. L-O-V-U, my G-R-L. What? It's like that.
See a whack MC when he mustn't, but I just back away real cool, no fussing. I'd rather go kicking in the streets with the bums and use the knowledge to collect what? Some funds, open a non-profit and build a damn school. And this is the story of how a great king rules. There's many that claim to know the local demographic, but don't have the nerve to tell you the truth. It's tragic, but I do, so sit back and let me spit this shit to you. You feel better when I spit this shit to you. Despite the system trying to clamp down on the people will learn how to stand up to evil. Not evil that's across the globe, that's too far, but evil lies in their own backyard. And fighting, it's not an option, they can't win. The government, it's not supposed to represent sin, but then again they do, and that's a problem. So let's go down and figure out how to solve them. It's not fun being a rapper that can't speak, but we do, yes, and plus we make fat beats. Yo, we smoke weed, break up trees. Listen, bringing fat beats, that is our mission. You wanted to see us, homeboy, shut up and listen. Thelonious and Big Bennett, brother, check the vision. Mentalities of different realities. Into the Star Trek room when you hit the boom. I be the Walkman with the super bass. Automatic stop, yes, stereo cassette player. With the delayer, freaky lyrical sprayer. Extraterrestrial rhyme sayer. I be the poetical VIC/master of the ceremony. Testimony, won't you come step with me? I'm on a historical journey, kinda like Sigourney. Employ me to represent the attorney that represents my niggas, go figure. Here's the card, they call me Uncle Vigor. Niggas love your blunts, down your liquors. I'll be the parallel to the fiction. You're fixated on this brother's nature. Relax behavior, I might save your change. Flip it, rearrange. The whole concept, yo, is good for all your brain. Insane, psychotic, neurotic, black onyx, and hooked on phonics. Yes, atomic, it bleeds like a bonnet. Cut with the Asiatic, they all up on it. Rhyme static with the robotic type of skill. You wonder, is this nigga Vic really for real? But still, but only necessary in the berry. I'm milk like dairy, they quite contrary. That's scary, but I'm a dog in the prairie. I scurry to grab my bones and just scurry. Lyrical flurry, go get your secretary with impeccable dictions. My style might vary, so get a hold of your own shit real fast. Fucking with us, we take it right out your ass. Every dog chill while the other dogs howl. Too many dogs get sent to the pound. Back on the hill, me and my peeps just lounge. Prairie dogs, we keep it on the down. Splatter, don't like none splatter. We try to climb a ladder, wicked men get better. They make it like splatter, but it really don't matter. Cause you know we coming back to our sons and our daughters. The father is the one who protects ya, and the mother, she will never neglect ya. To divine nature, the people respect ya, and in this way I deliver my lecture.